Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Soon to this theater.
Do it now!
Cause we live, bitches.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
It's alive. It's moving. It's coming this way.
What is up, you degenerate pieces of fucking filth? Oh, it feels good to be back. It feels good to be back in the horror movie club.
I got upgraded to just a degenerate piece of filth.
Well, let me explain to everybody. I'm still like hotel hopping right now, and so 2 words for you: hotel Wi-Fi. I was roboting like a motherfucker before we went on when we were backstage, so I have turned my camera off, hastily uploaded a icon, and so you're probably not going to see my sexy ass on camera. Lucky for you, though. Lucky for you.
We were not trying to see your sexy ass anyway.
It's okay. It's okay because ladies,
shoulders up.
We do deliver the beefcake. Yo, Matt, what's up, man?
What's up, Brian? I don't know about beefcake, but I like to eat a lot of cake.
Oh, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Yeah, and ladies, sorry, he's taken. Just so you know.
Oh, just shoot him down.
Man,
that's rough, dude.
Yeah. What up, Pops? How are you doing, man?
It's all action around here, you know.
Good action or
I
bad
haven't
action?
had enough time to watch the movie. That's
man.
how busy we've been.
That is real busy because the movie's only about like 80 minutes. It's like movies these days. It's just like if they were to do a modern remake of this, it'd be like fucking Ben-Hur. It'd be like fucking 3 hours long.
It reminded me of that last one we watched with the fucking bear, you know, a little bit, you know, because it had like a fucking Native American or Indian.
Yeah.
I read one
it's
thing.
Eco horror.
Eco horror. There we go. I read one thing and it's Native American, and another thing it's American Indian. It's like, I don't know, you know, like last year's textbook in school is Native American. This year it's Indian again. So I'm like, fuck. Don't get me wrong. I like saying Indians. Sorry. I mean, I just did. That's how it's Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
but look,
obviously it's not, you know, but.
Yeah. I mean, look, you don't want to be rude, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to offend anybody.
Right. You know, so it's just like, well, I don't know, like whatever preference, whatever they prefer. I prefer the term indigenous brothers and sisters. Yeah. Right. That works for me. Even though it is actually most likely that they're not indigenous to this continent, that they came from Europe and crossed over Corinthia, and crossed the Bering Strait.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I know about all that.
Yeah. So even if they don't directly come from this continent, they certainly were the first motherfuckers here.
Yeah.
That's for goddamn sure.
They're the real locals.
I gotta say hi to somebody in the chat. B, he's the wizard in our D&D game. He's the new wizard that joined our game. Man, that's Jeff. What's up, Jeff?
What up, Jeff? I'm waving, although you can't see me.
He says, let him eat beefcake. And yes, Jeff, we did do the prophecy. It is on the playlist. You can go back and watch that one if you want. We
Well, we did both.
Second and third.
We watched both The Prophecy and Prophecy.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
They're
did
two
both.
different movies. Yes, because The Prophecy was originally called God's Army, and they changed the title like at the last minute. I don't know.
I figured out the name of that other movie too that I was talking about. I think it's called Jennifer's Body or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another
With
one.
was it Megan Fox? Is that
Yeah,
right?
Megan Fox.
She's like a
wanna cover
vampire or like a ghoul or something. I never saw that movie.
Dude, she like sucks people up. I ain't even gonna go. I was caught by
Vagina
surprise.
dentata?
I was caught by surprise on that one. I'm just gonna
Like-
say,
Is it like a vagina dentata movie?
dude, yeah,
There's one of those too.
Yeah.
bent
I
dude
know what you're
over
talking about.
backwards on his way in. It was like, whoa, that was scary.
Oh.
Yeah, Jeff.
The mutant bear.
Yeah. We did that like a week or two ago, I think. No.
Yeah.
Wait. What am I
It was
talking
a
about?
while ago.
About a month ago or so.
Yeah, about a month ago.
Something like that. It feels
Yeah.
like a month ago. It's probably like 6 weeks, but it feels like a month.
I know.
Time's been flying, huh? How you doing, Brian? How you holding up, bro?
Hanging in there, man.
Me too, man.
I'm
Me
still
too.
hotel hopping, which sucks. At the
Yeah.
same time, I got money in the bank.
That's
I'm not
what's up.
worried about being homeless.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be house sitting for a friend and looking at probably a bunch of apartments this week.
That's
And
pretty exciting, dude. That sounds, and I know you're gonna find something you love. You know,
I hope
you're never gonna
so.
get the perfect place though, but you're gonna find something you
looking for
love.
an apartment,
You're gonna get a great,
not
great
your
spot.
dream home. Find
Yeah.
some place that's serviceable. Get in there,
Yeah.
get set, get
Yeah.
your shit moving, and move forward.
Yeah, no, dude. I'm just looking for a place where I can bunk for like a year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Year two.
and just write like a motherfucker. Focus on my comics shit, and for a year, and also then make long-term plans. You know, maybe to move to
Oh,
someplace in Pennsylvania or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what fate has in store. But hopefully from now on it's good shit, because I just had 3 years of really bad shit. Bad shit upon bad shit upon bad shit. But I am very, very grateful for all the good things that I have in my life. And that includes this stream, and that includes you dudes. Just so
I want to get Jeff into the horror movie club on Twitter. How do I invite somebody to the club, B?
beats me.
I know.
On the twatter. Yeah. Oh, I have to add them.
Right,
I can do that, but like send me a message to like.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I want to get him in the group. Jeff, we do this thing where we'll talk about this for a little while, but then we open this up and we let other people come out and talk about it too. If you want to be part of the show, you're more than welcome, bro.
Absolutely. Look, everyone within the reach of my voice, you're welcome to hop on. Like, the one thing that disappoints me, that's never happened. Like, nobody ever just jumped on and said, I can't believe you got me to watch this completely shitty movie. Like, 90 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Fuck you. And then just go back out the door.
Are you excited for the Nun 2?
No.
No?
Nah.
I heard that she's suing Warner Brothers for her
what's
likeness
up?
for the merchandise. Have you seen the actress that plays the nun, Bonnie something?
Oh, I always thought it was a dude.
Dude, she fucking looks like the fucking nun, bro. Without makeup. I mean, with makeup on, sorry.
Oh, man.
I saw her. I was like,
Oh,
dude, she straight up looks like that. That's fucking scary, you know? But
Damn.
that's why
Like
she's
Diamond Glass.
said fuckers, because she's supposed to get the merch, you know? I fucking love the nun. I only saw it one time. I seen the theater and I was all about it, you know, and I heard the director was inspired by
I
the video
enjoyed
game Castlevania, and I saw a little bit of that in there too, you know. I love the Templar flashback scene, you know, that was dope. I wish they would do more of that, but
It was.
Yeah.
You know how I actually got to see it, and I got to see it several times, or at least in like bits and pieces.
wow.
Was I had a client? This is when I was working in the mental health industry, right?
That was a while ago, huh?
Yeah. Just like 3 years ago. It's before like
Yeah,
everything went
that's
to
about
shit, right?
That's right, I brought my
And-
baby.
Oh wow.
I seen it. We seen it in the theater, dude. That was the last movie me and my lady went and seen. I remember we went and got some ramen, and it was just I don't know, a great time. Fucking loved the
Man.
movie, and yeah.
Yeah, like I had a client that loved that movie.
Yeah,
and wanted to watch it over and over and over again. So if other clients weren't like, because I would bring in movies for the people, right?
Okay.
I would ask them, what do you want to see? Because I can get that shit for you, and I can bring it here, and you can watch it here. Because those people lived at like basically in a fucking hellhole, nursing home, right? For like mentally disabled people, and so I tried to fucking be as kind to them as I could for the time that I had them. And there's this one client, this little black lady, very, very demure, an artist, by the way, very good one. And she just wanted to watch The Nun over and over and over again. So I'm familiar with it. And you know what? I think it's I've seen it one time. It's okay.
And I was like, this is dope. But I was like, I didn't want to like play it out and shit, So that's why I just seen it in the theater.
Yeah, but do we really need a The Nun 2?
Oh, for sure, dog. I'll take fucking 6 of those movies. Hey, I've seen Halloween Ends.
Oh, and your verdict?
Well, to be honest with you, I was kind of like, I agreed with you. It's like, well, we were on Halloween fucking 100 now. Like, what else can we fucking do with the franchise? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
I was talking to my buddy at work, and I was like, dude, I would have been down if fucking like they took that movie and cut it in half, and like the last half of the movie, it was just Jamie Lee Curtis with the mask, and she's running around, she's killing everybody. Because from my understanding, like as the movie progressed, spoilers, her eyes started turning black, and I knew that the kid was turning into Michael, like he was absorbing his spirit as his eyes were turning black, and then they called it out, oh, his eyes are turning black. I also noticed that Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode or whatever her name was, her eyes were turning black, and she was like evaporating in certain scenes. She'd turn around, she'd be gone, like Michael. She was turning it, and then at the very end of the movie, they held hands, so she probably took on the shape, and I feel that somehow she could have become the next Michael Myers, and I think it would have been creepy, dude, with her long white hair and the mask on. I'm cool.
It may have been
cool for one fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. And she's been killed by Michael Myers twice.
Yeah, like fucking, and she's in two or three different universes of Halloween, right?
Yes.
So it's like, you look at the chart by Michael Myers twice. So,
I'm down if Michael's living in the fucking sewer and he's fucking his spirit's going into a kid. All right, cool. I'm down with that for one movie.
Yeah.
Cool if his sister fucking wears a mask.
Yes.
They've been around so long. Everybody's been killed by Michael Myers twice.
Yeah.
Anything but what they fucking did. I thought it was because there was like a moment where I was like, oh, this actually, who knows? This actually could be okay. Like when that boy is holding a victim for Michael Myers, and Michael Myers is stabbing him, right? Because he's like too weak. He's too weak. He needs to fucking power up by doing some murders. What up, Jeff? Nice to meet you, sir.
Jeff, Brian, Matt, Jeff.
Hey.
Pleased
Jeff
to meet
is
you,
one of the newer members of the Madness crew. He's around now, so get used to it.
Welcome to the family, sir. Welcome to the scene.
Happy to be here. I am a 54-year-old horror movie aficionado and all-around geek, so I have probably seen every completely, totally horrible, shitty movie that you were talking about.
Nice. Very nice.
Right, so you come from... Right. So you're at that same age where, you only, you watched what you could see on TV. Right?
Yeah,
and
I grew
stay
up
up late and fucking if there were 2 horror movies playing simultaneously during the commercial, you'd flip over to the other one.
I became a night owl because of horror movies. I was watching horror movies at 4 or 8 years old. It must have been 4. There was a cable access kind of show, horror host called Dr. Shock, way back in the early 70s.
We didn't have any hosts here in New York.
Oh man, I was actually I'm from the South. I'm from South Carolina, but I was living in Delaware for 4 years at the time, and that's where I discovered horror hosts. And Vampirella, she was starting to make herself really known in the later 70s. But that Dr. Shock was my first guy, and he had this kooky, fun sense of humor, and he'd play these classic horror movies, and that was the start of it all.
That's got to be one of the best jobs ever.
All right.
I mean,
by the way, the Vagina Dentata movie is called Teeth.
I've heard of that one.
Got it. By the way, this poster I'm showing here says that Robert Carradine is in this movie. Robert Carradine is not in this movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing
I was about to say, I do not recall seeing him in that film at all. Everybody but Robert Carradine.
Yeah, it's so I don't know what the hell's going on there. But first, one of the things I wanted to do is talk about the week in horror, because we have some actually what I would consider to be spectacular news. Hammer is coming back, and Hammer is coming back, it looks like, as Hammer. That is to say, here, hold on, let me look up, get the link on. Yeah, because Hammer films about, I don't know, 10 years ago, or probably more than that.
They did try to make a comeback. I remember what was it? Wakewood was a really good one.
Oh, I didn't see that. I know that they did a remake of Let the Right One In, which is just like a very, very bad idea.
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
That's like
good actors, but
the original it was just okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's just I mean, it's just the whole. I have a problem with the whole idea of remaking movies just to have them in English.
Or shot for sucks, dude. And then shot for shot sometimes gets on my fucking nerves. You know?
Oh my god!
Like what they did with Psycho. Like again, you got Vigo. You got Vince Vaughn proving he's got some range at the get. Hopefully they're doing Dracula with this.
I'll tell you, if you want to see a good, brutal Vince Vaughn movie, watch it. I believe it's called
Raw and Cell Block 99.
Raw and Cell Block 99.
Holy crap!
Fucking awesome! Fucking awesome,
Doc.
Yo,
is
there an echo?
Yeah, I hear an echo. Yeah.
Now pitching Manny Mona. Yogi Berra.
I can't figure it out. It's crazy.
It's okay, dude. We'll learn to forgive you at some point. But anyway, this is really incredible news because the current owner is a guy named John. Hold on. Oh yeah, let me.
I do something about that echo.
Yeah, that's all right. Yes,
he's got to kill his YouTube. That's all. Turn off the YouTube, dog.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was like, I'll just proceed anyway. But yeah, no, you can't listen to that shit.
There we go. All
right. Check this out. The guy who bought Hammer is a guy named John Gore. I'm not familiar with.
Great name to start with.
But what a fucking great name. Could you ask for a better name, right? For like the new owner of Hammer. He's a 20-time Tony, Emmy, and Olivier winning entertainment producer, and he's known for like his live theater productions. Well, he's going to head up a new team, it says here, as chair and CEO. And I'm reading from the article here. Under Gore's management, the plan is to invest significantly in Hammer Films to breathe new life into the studio, blending the nostalgic charm of Hammer with modern cinematic style and innovation, while preserving its heritage and library.
Oh fuck! Okay.
Ooh, this makes me happy.
They're going Hammer.
Yeah, they're gonna remake.
They're gonna do gothic horror movies.
Yeah.
This is fucking awesome.
That's
this
what we
is
want,
like,
because Universal had their chance, and it's just kind of not doing them,
Universal don't know what to do with the Universal monsters, right?
Which is too bad, because I
don't know what to do with DC.
The Benicio del Toro Wolfman was great, I thought.
Oh yeah,
I was really wanting more of that. I mean, they were so on point with that.
That was my favorite one.
But then you watch the Tom Cruise Mummy, and you're like,
yeah. I mean, Russell Crowe was pretty dope in there, but yeah.
That's the I was telling my friend Chris the other day. Chris, by the way, if you're listening, much love to you, brother. Chris is a horror buddy of mine, and he, was like, is that worth watching? And I said, no. Just go on YouTube and look up The Mummy, Russell Crowe,
Yes.
Jekyll Hyde.
That awful Jekyll and
One
Hyde.
scene. Watch that one scene. Which I think is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And
For
then
all the wrong reasons.
well, look, I love the fact that he turned into basically like a murderous Cockney.
Yeah. No, I liked it. Yeah.
I loved it. It
Yeah.
worked for me. It was crazy, but then again, why not do something crazy like that? But it wasn't a
I
fucking
guess I'm
horror
just
movie.
old school. I want a very distinctive difference between Jekyll and Hyde. And like the closest thing to what you're talking about there that I did appreciate was the one with John Malkovich, where
Mary
the alter
Riley?
ego just had like the longer hair and was very
Yes.
sinister as
Yes.
opposed to being very Neanderthalish.
Yeah. Mary
I like
Riley.
Mary Riley.
the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Oh, you mean Hulk down, man.
Jekyll and
I like-
Hyde.
Like that's how
Yes.
my Hyde is. Like I got like my take on Hyde too. Like the way I draw him for fun, And he's definitely a Hulk, and he's definitely Neanderthal combined.
Well, I liked him all deformed too. Like he had
I
like
would-
a
I
short
would
arm,
really-
and
yeah.
he was all.
Yeah. I would really like to see a take that was more referential of the novel, in which like Hyde was smaller,
I was
more
about to
animalistic,
say.
and so like he would be more
I
like
was
a
about to say.
Neanderthal, like a
Yeah,
throwback.
he shrinks.
Like
Yeah,
the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like he
Like-
turns into the Hunchback.
Because
Like
that's one of the
Wolverine.
things. I mean, there's even a line in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the comic, not the movie, where Jekyll says, there was a time when Hyde was actually smaller than me.
Yeah, it's like Jekyll was getting smaller as Hyde got bigger and bigger, and
Yes,
that
yeah,
was an
which was
interesting
cool.
idea. I would have loved to have seen Alan Moore do like a side project, just really delving into all that, because that
Oh
was
my
a really
God.
intriguing idea.
Oh my god! Well,
Pretty dope.
their first movie, it's not going to be Dracula. It's not going to be the Mummy, obviously. It's going to be Dr. Jekyll and
Okay.
Mr. Hyde, and
Down
it's
for that.
starring Eddie Izzard and Scott Chambers, and directed by Joe Stevenson, who I'm not familiar with.
That is
Izzard
such a
gonna be
weird
Jekyll?
choice.
Yeah, I wouldn't have ran with that, to be honest.
Did you
Nah,
guys see?
I
that's
could
too
get
weird.
down with
I
Izzard as a villain.
Well,
I guarantee you, it's going to be a gender shift. That's what it's going to be on that. Because
Well,
Eddie
no.
Izzard,
Eddie
like,
Izzard goes
he's a
back into
cross-dresser.
drag.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well-
like it's
Well, I mean, Hammer already did Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, where he
Yeah.
turns into a woman. They did that like in the fucking 70s.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they did
So I-
Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde as well too. Was it Sean Young? But it wasn't
yes,
Hammer.
yeah.
It wasn't
That was
Hammer,
in
but
the
it was
80s, I believe.
pop culture.
Yeah. Right. And Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, almost as much of a part of our culture as Dracula and the Frankenstein
Oh
monster.
man, I hope they don't do the
Yeah.
gender shift, because that will sink this boat before it even gets out.
Oh,
there in the
absolutely.
docks.
Here's my
Yeah.
question. Here's my question. Did you guys see him in Hannibal?
Yes,
Um,
yes, he was terrific.
That's what I'm saying. The guy is a really, really good actor.
Yeah.
And this guy sounds like the CEO. He sounds like he knows what he's doing. He said,
Who was he
and
in
also-
talking about Eddie Izzard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eddie
Who was he
Izzard's
in
a
Han-
terrific actor.
I think
Who
he
was
is.
he-
I think he's a really good actor.
Who was he in Hannibal
I just-
though?
He was a serial killer that Hannibal ends up eating piece by piece, and they have this really interesting dialogue. As like every couple of days, he's serving him a new piece of himself,
Yes. Yep.
and they're having
Oh,
this
yeah,
discourse while one guy is being consumed by the
It's
Are you
amazing.
talking about the TV show? I'm thinking a
TV
movie.
show.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
No,
of the movie. I'm
no.
like, that wasn't really.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch the TV show with Matt.
TV show was good, dude.
Oh,
I watched like a couple scenes, but I never got to get in there. I got to get in there with that.
Oh,
Matt's a badass.
It
Matt's
is
a
shot-
badass.
the
It
first
is shot like
season
a
is
film.
perfect.
the
Yeah.
cinematography is exquisite.
Well, I know that
Yes.
that they had Guillermo Novato, like Guillermo del Toro's homeboy, like he was filming a lot of it, and he's he filmed Hellboy, so.
Yeah,
Well, it was artistic the way they had some of the serial killers like murder their victims. Like it was
Yeah,
really
they were
cool.
all
it
like-
was-
Oh, it was awesome.
Nobody was like your Jeffrey Dahmer. Everybody was like a Hannibal level killer.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that made things super interesting. My favorite is the guy who built himself
They
a
were
basically prehistoric predator mecha suit for werewolfing out on people.
yes.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's crazy.
The thing,
Yes.
the thing that turned me off
Yeah,
to that show though was
awesome.
Yeah.
it just got too repetitive. Like they kept doing the same thing over and over. I mean,
Yeah,
it's cool to have like this awesome serial killer go against Hannibal and have this like, but they never switched it up. Like it was just the same thing over and
Now
over.
they did switch
Yeah.
up for a while because you did have the time when all the heat falls on Graham and they treat him like he's the killer, like which Hannibal wanted. So that was a new direction. But you're right. For a while, it was like kind of monster of the week kind of formula.
Yeah,
I like Graham though. Graham was
Yeah.
badass. Like he was such an original like character. Really,
This is my design.
yeah, yeah, it was cool.
Oh man, somebody calling out for Manhunter.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
OG.
it was
Brian Cox.
It was
Nice,
great,
yeah.
and then it
Brian
started
Cox.
getting really, really woke.
Paul Newman.
Yeah, man.
How dare
Yep.
you, Brian?
Yep.
How dare you even go against the narrative? You fucking bastard.
Yeah. No, I love Brian Cox was great as
He's awesome, dude.
as a character. But if I had to pick, Mads Mikkelsen
Mads?
for sure.
If you pick
Yes.
Mads over Tony,
Yes, for sure.
Wow.
For sure. Because
I gotta
Hopkins-
say, he won me over too.
what?
Yeah. yes.
Maybe it's just because he had the time to do it, but like his portrayal is so eerie.
I have to check it out.
Oh, right. Because to me, Anthony Hopkins is never really truly menacing because he's chewing up the scenery and having
know,
a ball
dude.
with it. you
I
know?
thought he was very menacing. Like you could tell, like he wasn't physically intimidating, but just the shit he would come up with, like where he
He's-
actually.
Well, that's the character. Yeah.
He's best in the first movie. After the shock value's
Yeah.
worn off, I don't think he's as scary in the subsequent films. But in the first movie,
Right.
when he meets
Yeah.
Agent Starling for the first time, and he's just standing there, and he does this cool
Yeah.
thing where if you watch, he never blinks,
Yeah.
and so he's like a
Yep.
snake just staring.
And
at
it was
you.
almost like two different personalities too.
Mhm.
Like he would snap, like
Yeah.
1 second it would just be like, "Yeah, in your
Like a
mother's
snake.
panties" or something like that. You know, it was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, not taking anything away. You know what I'm saying? Not taking
Yeah.
anything away from him. So that's a testament to how great Mads Mikkelsen's performance is
Yeah.
in that
I'm
movie.
gonna have to check
Yeah,
that out.
this show made me an instant fan of this fella. I'll watch anything he's in.
Oh yeah, yeah, he
Yep.
was badass.
I liked him in King Arthur. I was like, this guy's pretty dope.
I did not see him in that. But
A
then
lot
again,
of people, you have to watch the director's cut. Only watch the director's cut, and then Stellan Skarsgård, it's his best role as the Saxon King.
Oh god,
Fucking-
yes.
Fucking badass, dude. So good.
Finally, somebody worth killing.
And Ray Stevenson's is in there. They're all Knights of the Round Table. Ray Winstone, fucking Yoan Grufford,
was this the one that was made by
Antoine
what's his
Fuqua.
face?
some
Oh,
training-
okay.
Yeah,
He did
this is the
Training
one
Day.
where the knights are former Roman soldiers, and they're
Oh, yeah,
that was
developing
good.
the kingdom
Yeah.
of Britain at this
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not the story of King Arthur and the Round Table. It's the story of the story
Yes,
Yeah.
that gave birth to.
it's got
the
Keira
story
Knightley in
of,
there as like a barbarian warrior.
That shit was badass.
It's pretty dope.
That's the
I really
concept.
liked it. It's my second
Right.
favorite after.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it. Not that I avoided it or anything like that. It's one of those movies you never get around to.
Yeah, no, I hear you. You have to watch the director's cut. A lot of people slept on it because it wasn't fantastic. You
Oh
know?
man, it took me 8 years to get around to
Oh,
watching The
shit.
Hangover.
Roboting already.
It happens.
You're coming through pretty good on my end.
Yeah,
Yeah, mine
sounds
too.
fine here.
It's all good here. I'm just sharing the stream out to some places, because that's what I do.
Well, maybe he's cutting out on his end.
Is Brian going out again? He'll go out.
Yeah.
He'll come back.
You
He'll
go
go
out
out
and
and
come
come
back
back. Don't worry about Brian.
I even liked what was it, Hannibal Rising? I know that it's totally different, but I enjoyed Hannibal Rising a lot.
Yeah,
Me
I
too.
did too.
As a
What was the
movie.
name of that young actor who played him?
Don't know. But he kind of looked like Anthony in some like he was related to him, like his nephew.
I-
or something, you know?
I dug his portrayal a lot too.
Yeah, it was a cool movie, and he got his
Sorry.
comeuppance at the end and everything.
Are you
Dude,
back?
did anybody see the last voyage of the Dimitri?
Yeah, I seen it.
The meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing.
Haven't watched
really
it yet.
liked
I've
that.
I liked
got
it too.
but I'm
Yeah.
like waiting to watch.
I enjoyed it
by
too.
because we like Dracula.
Seems like
Me
all
too.
horror
Yeah.
people like it, dude. Like, it seems like everyone that's into horror like it, but they have their their nitpicky shit, which is awesome. But yeah,
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
hearing
15 minutes too long.
a little divided, but like I love the concept of just exploring that story, like what happened on that voyage to England. It was like,
yes,
I'm so
that's like
down
the best
for
shit.
this.
That's the creepiest chapter in the entire novel,
Right.
and so it's perfect for a movie. Look, this movie was the last voyage of the Demeter in development hell for 20 years. It had about 5 different directors attached.
I remember when
Probably
Lugo
longer
was
than it
involved.
took him to get the
fact that
Spider-Man movie.
It got made. It's like, is it the movie I wanted? No, but it's still good. I wouldn't say it's great. I would say that it's.
It was great.
I'd give it a 7.
Yeah,
It's solid. I'll
That's
tell you
solid.
one thing: if they use this as like the launching pad for the Universal monsters,
I'm down.
nothing could make me happier because
Nice.
Super down. Yeah, you fucking
because
dope.
it's like I've always said. I mean, it's just so obvious. It's just like, don't make giant $300 million movies. Make like a bunch of like $40 and $50 million movies, and like mid-budget shit, and make the monsters scary again.
It
And
was crazy.
that delivered.
Yeah, stop
like,
leaning
we-
on fucking digital.
Yeah,
We did a
Yeah,
we did a
there was
review.
too much of that too.
We did a review for Cinema Crusaders of the and this was a 2001 movie, so the prices weren't quite as extravagant as now. But it was for a World War II movie called Enemy at the Gates, and it had like a $63 million budget, and it looked like $150 million equivalent today.
Yeah,
It
a good
looked
one.
that good on a much smaller budget. And think about even recent films like the first Deadpool was a $50 million budget, and that looks like something right out of the MCU. So it can be done. You don't have to sink $300 million to make a good film.
yeah,
There's not too many very good writers in Hollywood anymore.
that's
That's
true.
true.
You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
totally.
I'm not just talking about recently since
I
the
get
strike.
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm almost willing to give AI a shot at this point.
yeah.
Nope.
Well,
I noticed though with that movie, dude, there was some behind the scenes shit with the Demeter, like scenes where I thought were CGI, but they weren't. You know what I mean?
I love
and-
hearing that.
AI
big-
could
I'm a
easily
big
write a
proponent.
Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's very
definitely.
formulaic.
yeah. And there's just tropes that like people respond to, myself including. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm not. It doesn't really like I'm kind of a basic bitch in that regard. Like there's just certain things that I like, and it's not hard to please me. So I don't know.
I mean, tropes are around because they work. It's just
Yeah.
like, when you talk about stereotypes and stuff, like
Yeah.
we recognize
Yeah,
them
they
because
did.
they're
They did
phenomenal.
They basically did. They basically did the Guillermo del Toro thing.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, just good actors, at least a decent script, and make sure you light it so you got some atmosphere, and you should be good to go.
Oh yeah.
There needs to be a better way than the process that they're using to make movies nowadays.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just
Yeah,
not
sorry
working.
guys,
Like,
y'all
they're
are
pushing-
roboting on me. God damn it!
they're pushing forward like the worst fucking movies, and I think it's because,
step
hey,
out,
I know
step
him,
back in.
or
Hold
something like
on.
that, or he kissed my ass just enough to get this piece of garbage made while passing over really good like properties, and really
Yeah.
well written properties.
Hey, Brian, can you hotspot off your phone? Maybe that would help you. Maybe I'll give you a better signal.
I think they need to. I don't know. There's got to be something new. There's got to be something different. And the delivery system for movies is way different nowadays too. Like, you don't need to go through the syndicates to go and get your movie just like distributed to theaters or anything like that. I mean, hell, there's YouTubers that do effects just as good as their.
Yeah.
I used to.
Yeah.
Before YouTube changed its algorithms to doing all of our content, we want short content every single day. I've been inspired by people like Indie Mogul and Film Riot, and I'd started putting out short horror movies on my YouTube channel. But when the algorithm changed, you can't get any traction anymore unless you have been doing that for a long time and you're really entrenched. So, like, the Rocket League or some of these other guys can still do that because they've got the following. But I just quit making films because I was never going to get any traction like that with the change in the platform.
Our girl Laurie makes short films on her campaigns. You guys know that, Path of the Pale Rider. I got shot right here in this room. I got blown away with a shotgun right here in this room.
Yeah, I remember that,
films, dude. And it looks real as shit. Like I walked back there and boom, I got blown away, man.
It's all in the storyboarding and like the director of photography and the director. Yeah. Even that's if they have $5, as long as they know how to set it up and create that. If they create that, you know what I mean? Create the dread and for me, I would.
That's the advantage of being an artist. I would like storyboard out my stuff before I shot it, so I knew what my shots were going to be like relatively. And then if the location inspired me to do something else, I would kind of quick fire and do something like that. But I had the general idea down pretty well.
I was trying to explain to a buddy of mine how important storyboarding is. Like he's a really good camera guy, but he doesn't he overlooks storyboard. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to explain to him, I'm like, dude, your original idea could be amazing, but while you're in the process of filming, that shit starts to shift and you don't really notice it. And so you end up with this generic piece of garbage at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, not James Cameron.
What's up, Edwin?
What's God, I can't believe I'm brain farting on this name. The name of the Alien director, Ridley Scott. He sold that movie. He like doubled his budget just based on the strength of the storyboards he had for the film, because he was also like a graphic illustrator, and he storyboarded like the entire film. And it's not like storyboards like you think of these days. They were really detailed. Like he was drawing a graphic novel.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And like the studio's like, well, crap, make it like that.
This guy right here, he's the dude that designed the Madness logo.
Nice.
And he did that one video where madness, comedy. He did all that. Dude, look, Edwin's bad at it. He's a fucking tattoo artist, but he does every goddamn thing else too.
You know what it is though? Like the companies don't want to spend a lot of money on that on storyboard.
Yeah.
And
well, that's because they're sinking all their money into tent poles.
Exactly. Yeah. And with that said, like, who's going to take pride in their work if they literally don't want to pay you anything to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they were hiring H.R. Geiger, Giger, whatever, to go ahead and do storyboards for Dune early on and character designs. And dude, they were beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've got so many of his art books and seeing the Dune stuff. I was like, man, I wish Aronofsky, what's his name? That's wrong. Jodorowsky. If that guy wasn't such a nut job, I would have loved to have seen his vision realized. But we do have his comics, like the Incal and stuff like that, to sort of get an idea of what he wanted to do. But, oh man,
I have to say though, like his idea
for
Dune was not, from everything I've seen, like it would have been a disaster.
It would have been a disaster, but it would have been a glorious disaster.
A beautiful disaster is what it would have been.
I'm going to go ahead and dent my reputation right now, but I'm 60 years old and I don't give a shit. Emma Samms. I know Emma Samms, and the reason I know her is because the girls at school used to always skip at 2:00. They skip out to go home watch General Hospital, and Emma Samms was in that stupid soap opera, bro.
That's a good poster.
I was all about Dark Shadows.
All the girls wanted to skip until 2:00. I had a place they could go watch their TV, right? I was like, yeah, come on over to my house. Well, you watch whatever you want.
Yeah, I want to watch.
Don't get it twisted. Dark Shadows is definitely a soap opera, but it's a soap opera I can enjoy.
It was a soap opera for nut jobs, is what it was. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Can't wait to check that out.
It was actually intended for boys, and it was aired specifically at the time when boys would be coming home from school.
Worked on me.
Yeah.
Me too. Especially when they threw a werewolf in there.
Yeah.
I risked all kinds of trouble to have all them girls in my house to watch a soap opera every day. I didn't care if I got caught. Come on, Dad walks in and I'm sitting there with a room full of chicks. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Good job, son. He's gonna walk away.
It's funny. I was talking with Pops before the show.
That could be a different story, right?
was talking with Pops before the show, and I was like subtitling this film like a rapist from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
You mean rapist? Rapist.
Yeah, no,
rapist. Okay, yeah, don't demonetize us. Rapist.
Rapist.
God,
Yes,
I hate having to
because
censor my
we're on
language all the
YouTube,
time.
and so we have to use like baby talk. I know
not
it's,
human.
it's
hug women.
I just had a long conversation about this
Or
in the
mate.
thread in my Facebook group about the Roku, and one of the reasons we're going is because of, I just said a simple thing, it's like self-censor. Would you rather self-censor on YouTube, or would you rather have the freedom to at least speak your mind, like on within reason, obviously.
I can't stand watching guys do podcasts and they're having to say things like delete or unalived and like
in Minecraft.
So lame.
I'm
Yeah.
so sick of that shit.
You can't talk like a human being anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
That's why we're building a Roku platform.
Land of the free.
Yeah, right. Oh man,
we're gonna do our best
Land
to
of the
give
free,
you
home
back
of the slave.
This film always, even as a kid watching this film, I'm like, okay, if these guys have got to come after women to reproduce, how long has this been going on? How did the species evolve without females? My little nerd brain starts kicking in and ignoring the stupidity and trying to work it, because as I'm not just an artist, I also write, and so I'm like, that writer's hat snaps on, and I try and figure out how things work within the context of the world, and it just keeps adding up to like does not compute.
All I think is that after a few generations, they just made the creep out of it anyway, and they just become little mutant babies, right? Like,
I kind of wish they'd done like maybe a Shadow over Innsmouth kind of thing.
Oh
that is. I was gonna say we did Stuart Gordon's Dagon. Now, there's no question that when these creatures show up, they look they're deep ones.
Yeah.
Definitely got that Lovecraft feel out of this too. Again, we've been hitting them Lovecraft notes the last couple months.
Lovecraft is near and dear to my tentacled heart.
Me too, and the threads of his work go all through our culture. Like you'd be amazed where you see where you see Lovecraftian shit sometimes.
Yeah, it's related. It kind of just goes back to Lovecraft,
The reverberations. The reverberations. That's the word I was looking for.
It's so in the veins of things like the work of Stephen King.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, and like Clive Barker as well owes him a great debt. Idea of the cosmic horror and the thing that you just have no hope against. The best description for Lovecraft's work I think I ever heard was like a horror for atheists, because like if you can't count on like God and angels or whatnot to come down and save you, if you believe in like the we're all just here by accident, and then like you have no hope, and he writes the most hopeless horror ever.
Oh yeah,
it's like
for sure.
It's like Japanese horror. Like Japanese horror is like this is happening and you can't defeat it.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you're talking about
big fan of Geiger's artwork,
but you could go toe to toe with the deep ones.
Yeah,
Doc Salem did.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I was telling Preston definitely watch this movie, because it might give you some ideas for the Blood Hunt Doc Salem crossover where they go to Innsmouth and also down into the undersea city.
Nice.
They have a video game where
video game of over Innsmouth.
Yeah, like I was watching Razorfist playing it like a year ago, and it's all.
There's two Call of Cthulhu games.
It's dope. The graphics were awesome. It's exactly like Dagon the movie, but like in some ways better because it's it's modern graphics and stuff. Looks like a real person, and you're going around talking to all of them and things like that. I forgot the name of it, but there's a lot of Lovecraft games.
Was that the Drowning City?
I think it was the Sunken City, possibly.
Sunken City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played their Call of Cthulhu game yet.
I haven't played it.
Man, they look great.
Yeah.
They're okay. can't say that they're great.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is that they're very well made, but there's always a point where I find myself playing something else and kind of like putting them off to the side and then finishing them like 6 months later, like coming back and oh, that's right, I didn't finish this.
Right.
I'll probably enjoy it more just because I'm so biased to Lovecraft. I'm kind of an easy sell when it comes to Lovecraft, and
oh, dude, you couldn't.
I'm so disappointed by so many Lovecraft movies.
Me too,
so,
brother.
Like,
Me too. I mean,
Lovecraft
when
movie,
I discovered him in high school,
It's like trying to find a good werewolf movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every now and then you get a nugget.
Yeah, right.
But with Lovecraft, honestly, the good ones were made in the 70s. Like, I haven't seen anything modern where it was like, oh yeah, that's a great movie.
I gotta say, I
like,
dug The Color Out of Space with Nick Cage.
That was good.
I was into that.
Dude, The Color Out of Space.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was awesome. I actually think that that's the best Lovecraft movie ever made.
I've got
it really is.
The H.P. Lovecraft
and it breaks my heart that Richard Stanley.
I think my favorite's still the H.P. Lovecraft's Historical Society Call of Cthulhu, done as a silent movie in the style of like F.W. Murnau.
I think I've seen that.
Oh,
was that the one with,
that's
fantastic.
That's fun.
Was that the one with Harry Potter in it?
Yeah, it looks. Yeah,
the dude who plays Harry Potter. No, I'm serious. Like, because I think they
definitely not. No, definitely not. It's a very low budget movie. It's a very low budget movie that was made to look like it was made in like the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen that. I thought that was
museum is fantastic.
They did a follow-up film more in the vein of the 30s, like the Universal Age, as the Whisper in the Dark, which is also quite good.
Oh.
Now they haven't.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've literally Lovecraft is one of a handful of authors. He may be the only author where I've read absolutely everything he ever wrote, excluding his letters. Yeah, because I was absolutely obsessed with Lovecraft when I discovered him in high school. Absolutely blew my mind. And then obviously blew the minds of people like Stephen King and Clive Barker, because if you read like the very first stories they wrote, they read like Lovecraft. For sure. Okay, so Humanoids from the Deep definitely has some Lovecraftian strains, but in this, the monsters aren't the deep ones. They're fish that have evolved from eating salmon that have had their DNA fucked with to be bigger and more plentiful. And so these are literally fishmen.
But you still wonders, like, why are there no females?
Right.
Why does Mars need women? It's just,
right. Well, in The Shadow over Innsmouth, they were doing it to create a hybrid race.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
where, they start out human and then gradually would turn more and more into a deep one. Right. Until finally they're deep ones. Yep.
But here it's weird. It's like it really is. You kind of go back to the creature from Black Lagoon. Like, so why was he so fascinated by the female? He slaughtered everything else.
Here's the most important thing. Here's the most important thing to say about this movie.
Posters.
It's really cool ones. Here's the most important thing to say about Humanoids from the Deep. It's a Roger Corman movie at its core.
Yeah, that does explain a lot.
Yeah,
it is very much from the 50s, but made in like 1980. 100%. And there was what's his face? Paul Bartel, the guy who directed Death Race 2000, one of the greatest movies
ever made.
He said he was having a conversation with Roger Corman, and he asked him, Roger, what does the monster want? And Corman said, to kill all of the men and grape all of the women.
Hey, just a side note, did anybody see The Resurrection of Cthulhu?
No.
Okay, that's a porn movie made about
a porn movie.
They have Lovecraftian porn. I don't know if anybody's aware about that, but there's
I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. The Japanese already did that.
Whatever.
We should have.
The Japanese already did that. Urutsu Kodoji, Legend of the
South Park
Overfiend.
already did it.
We should have never bombed the Japanese a second time. That was just too much radiation. They've been permanently messed up ever since. But God bless them. I love their anime.
Oh my God. And God, the movies that they made in like the 60s and the 70s and even the 80s, because now of course the Japanese film industry went the way of the Italian film industry. Like it's pretty much non-existent.
Maybe they need to be bombed again.
It's a shame.
Fortunately, we got Korea. Korea's putting out some kick-ass stuff.
Oh,
Korea is killing it, dude.
Korea is killing it right now. Yeah. They make the best movies in the world.
Absolutely.
They're the new Hong Kong.
I'm so happy that Netflix picked up so many projects from Korea because they're absolutely amazing.
They need to be dubbed, like more dubbed, so I won't have to read the motherfuckers.
I actually prefer watching those movies on my computer as opposed to going out to a thing because I can pause and actually read. Like, okay, because I read kind of slow. Like, pause, read. All right, back to the action. Oh, that's a great shot.
Well, also, it's like, I get mad when they make. I get mad when they make remakes of foreign movies just to have them in English, but then
that's lame.
Just dub them, right?
Right.
And but then people don't want to watch a movie if it's dubbed. So they don't want to watch it if it's dubbed.
I watch the shit out of a movie if it's dubbed.
Subtitles.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's the thing. There's a portion of the audience, people like Preston, who have dyslexia, right? So
How dare you
subtitles,
leaving out my secrets?
I got a little bit of that myself,
think about
especially with numbers.
I mean, I like
Think
watching
about that. What a hassle!
I'll deal with the dubbing just because I grew up on spaghetti westerns, so I'm like, I grew up with it. But like, I do like to
kung fu movies,
Yep.
I like to see things done in people's actual voices because I feel like I just get more emotional impact out of that, even if I do have to stop to read really quick.
I grew up on
every
Godzilla.
Now and then you
That's
run
why.
across, every now and then, like, the 1954 Godzilla. Like, I love both versions. I love the original, the OG Japanese, and I love the one with the Raymond Burr character in there as well.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
It actually works.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah. Classically named Steve Martin, but
great.
It's sometimes you get lucky. Like that American version of Godzilla actually plays really well because the dubbing is really, really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know for like I think it was Godzilla Raids Again, George Takei actually dubs one of the characters in there because he actually, he can speak Japanese. And so he really understood like how to make his voice fit the character the best way possible because he's bilingual. We need more of that.
Yeah, to get the nuances in the mouth and whatnot for words that could kind of go along with that.
Unfortunately, Godzilla Raids is maybe like the worst Godzilla movie.
Oh, it's a bad movie.
Godzilla 1984 was
it's terrible. They just
dude.
I love that.
Godzilla 84 was good.
The ones in the 90s though. The ones in the 90s are the best.
Heisei series.
Oh, they would have passed, dude. Yeah.
Those are amazing because
Mecha Ghidorah. Dude, Mecha Ghidorah.
Yes.
Shit, son.
Yes, when that thing shows up, I remember watching that for the first time. When that fucking thing shows up, I was like, "Oh my god, this is fucking awesome."
I literally had an orgasm when that thing showed up.
Like,
I was like,
introduce us to concepts like the Godzillasaurus. Like, how dope was that?
I know, right?
We got to see Godzilla before he got mutated. He's like this lost world dinosaur on this little island, and the Japanese shoot him up. And then
except for the whole bowing thing.
He saves the Japanese soldiers, and the American soldiers shoot him up. I know a lot of people don't like that origin of the character, but whatever.
It was fun. It was fun.
It's fun.
He shows his appreciation of the Japanese by continuously destroying their cities instead of coming to America.
That's a major flaw in that storyline.
in the Heisei series, what I loved most was the fact that the Japanese basically learned to live with Godzilla.
Yeah.
That he was, because that's the thing about Japan, and it really affects their society. They're very collective.
Tidal waves, hurricanes, earthquakes.
Did you guys see the trailer for Godzilla +1?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, -1, right?
Yeah.
So it is. Yeah.
Looks good.
Dude, that shit looks fucking sick, son.
Isn't Kurt Russell in that one?
I don't know. I have no
The
idea.
new Gamera looks terrible, unfortunately.
Kurt Russell and his son, they're playing the
That's
same
a-
character in a new Godzilla movie.
No, you're talking about the
Oh,
American
shit.
Godzilla movies.
Oh, that's the new one that's coming out?
Yeah.
It's an American one? Okay.
No, the Godzilla -1 is a Toho production. It's
Yeah.
I've seen the
latest-
trailer for that.
So
It's the newest one since Shin Godzilla dropped a few years
the thing
back.
is that we do a very good Godzilla movie, but
Mhm.
they're not memorable. You know what I'm saying? Anything Toho puts out, like, you got to remember that shit, dude. You know? And
God
I
damn
think
it.
they got a version of King Kong in a new movie, the Toho
no shit.
version. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
Well, you know, like King Kong, the novelization of King Kong is in the public domain, and it was even ruled against RKO by a judge that, because I've thought about using King Kong in some of my own works,
yeah.
that King Kong's rights are so distributed between so many parties that you just cannot claim ownership of King Kong.
I love
Yeah.
Japanese Kong, by the way. Japanese Kong.
Me too. With
Wait,
Mecha
are there
Kong?
two of me in here? Yeah. Mecha.
I did love
Kong, you can't beat it. It's a machine.
What
I
was-
love
what
that
was-
movie. That's actually one of my favorites.
I love
What were-
I love that here in America we actually the people who are making the American MonsterVerse films clearly love these movies, and they homage both, like in the Japanese King Kong, like he fights and eats a giant octopus, and in the Godzilla versus Kong, he like stuffs the axe down his mouth. I was like, oh man, that was classic right out of the Godzilla Kong from back in the day.
What was the they had you remember Toho put out a movie and it was like these two brothers, right? These two Kong-like brothers.
Oh, that's
yeah.
the Gargantuous Battle of
Yeah. Battle of the
Gyra
Gargantuous.
Panda.
We watched that on
Dude.
your you missed out, bro.
No, dude, they should, if they're going to remake a movie, they should definitely try to
And
that'd be sick, dude.
do it a
the
continuation.
Sanda
or
one
something
is
like
actually
that.
supposed to be
War of the Gargantuas.
War of
Yeah.
the Gargantuous.
and the Sanda is
Yes,
actually
sir.
supposed to be a continuation of the story. Like they had like this Frankenstein monster kid thing.
I remember that. Yeah,
And
that was
he was
badass.
supposed to have
Yes.
mutated into
Yeah.
Sanda.
Yeah, the Gargantuas, right? That's the same
Yeah.
one, right? Yeah,
Yep.
that was awesome.
Yeah,
It
we
was
did.
supposed to be a
We did that
continuation of
movie
that
on this
story.
show.
Yeah, that movie
We
was
did.
bad.
And
Yeah,
what
I-
a great ending too!
Oh my
Like,
god! I mean, it's one of my favorite films.
Mine
I like
too,
the
yeah.
set in there, the big lake when he's walking off into the lake. Like, damn,
Well, they
that
didn't
shit's
know what-
fucking huge.
And I love how he'd eat the people and spit out
And
the
I remember as a kid,
Yeah.
genuinely scary.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, they did. You know,
I mean,
What a-
I found that scene horrifying.
Mhm.
And what a
That
what
scene
a wonderfully
horrified
like
me as a kid.
what a wonderfully like heroic and tragic ending when they fight over the undersea
Yes.
volcano and like they've both been consumed. But I was like you, and like he was picking up people. He's like, "Hey, you look tasty." Pop, spit. It's like,
Reminds me of Attack on
looks
Titan
scary.
a little bit.
They'll be
Like,
back.
I wonder if they,
They'll be back.
yeah.
I wonder if they got any inspiration for Attack on Titan from.
You know what
Yeah,
kills
that's-
me? You know what kills me?
That's a
is-
freaky, scary book.
You know what kills me is the fact that you can't get a War of the Gargantuas figures. You can't get Sanda and Gyra
Oh, that's
for
they
less
had
than like
those on-
$250.
I know,
like
yeah.
$300.
Damn.
okay. Yeah, you got me there because I have quite a collection of SH.
Because there
Monster
need to
arts.
be more toys of those motherfuckers.
And
I seen
I'm-
someone do some art, like a cover or something like that, on like a pretty big artist in comic books. It was fucking dope, dude.
That's probably
man.
Matt Frank.
Yeah.
I followed him on DeviantArt when I was posting a lot of stuff there. Like we were both drawing like Godzilla stuff, and he got picked up by Toho, and he's done some amazing work
Nice.
on their
It's him.
comics. He's
or
a-
like Freddie Williams Jr. or Freddie, the guy that does the Ninja Turtle books, and he does some of the Godzilla ones too. I think he did one as well, or the comics. You know, I don't know if you know what I'm talking.
no wait, I'm thinking of Frankie B. Washington, who also has like a Kaiju's and Cowboys out.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
There was another one. It was like Freddie Williams the Fourth or something like
Because
that.
Freddie
That
Williams,
one
he did
sounds
the
great.
he did the Batman Ninja Turtles, right?
That guy. I think he did it.
Frankie B was on the show the other day. He was on our network the other day talking about the kaijus and cowboys.
Yeah,
Frankie B's awesome. Dope. But Matt Frank is this might sound like sacrilegious to say, but I think he's replaced Arthur Adams as my favorite Godzilla artist. Ooh. His stuff is just that good. And I love Arthur Adams.
Him's fighting words.
Oh man, Arthur Adams did maybe the best illustration I've ever seen of the Gill Man from Fisher from the Black Lagoon.
I think Arthur Adams did the best illustration I've ever seen. Like period.
This period.
I think he did the best Max. His Max with the social worker, the Jungle Queen. I remember having a trading card of it somewhere. I was like, damn, this is fucking dope. It's nothing like Sam Keats, but it's fucking dope, you know? He's like a super.
I still love some of my favorite work is still the very first thing I got from him from Marvel was that Long Shot miniseries.
Oh, dude, that was amazing.
Yes. I remember buying that. I remember getting that off the rack.
The first book I ever got with Arthur Adams' work in it was X-Men Annual number 10, I think it was.
Yes.
Or was it the one where they went to Asgard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That whole book just blew me away. I'm like, there's no way a person could do this much work in a
you ever
single
see like
panel.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So much detail, but like you want to look at it. Like sometimes people do a lot of detail, like damn, that's dope. But like I don't got time to look at every little detail, you know. But
that's why you like go back and
like you want to look at every detail. Like
it's like his throwaway characters were the design on his throwaway characters were better than anything I've ever seen. I was like, this is
like
crazy.
he took that George Perez kind of thing. Is like there's nothing wasted in my backgrounds. Like everything is there.
Yeah,
I think my favorite Godzilla work of his has to be where it's a Dark Horse one shot where Godzilla fights this ogre like Ginge Gingerton or something. He basically is like a giant ogre looking monster wearing samurai armor and carrying a big ass hammer.
That's fucking metal.
But Gingerton Jin,
I remember that. Yeah,
and that's like that is like my favorite Godzilla piece he's ever done. That comic was awesome.
Badass.
Oh, Daimajin?
What's that?
Is that? Are you talking about Daimajin? The giant like stone god that comes to life. There's 3 of those movies and they're fucking dope.
It's
actually, they're badass.
Actually,
dude.
the Gingerton Jin might be based off of Daimajin. I mean, they don't look anything alike, but he functions very much the same way. He comes to life. You know, he's got this stone statue and Godzilla stomps on it. And it reforms and it keeps growing every time that Godzilla destroys it. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger into this, giant ogre samurai monster until they can have a legit one-on-one solid fight.
What is this? What are you talking about? What was this in?
It was a Dark Horse one-shot. It was a special one-shot Godzilla one-shot. And I've got a copy of it signed by Art Adams.
Oh, my God. Yeah. He's a legend, man. He's a legend. Yeah, well, I mean, he was one of those people I remember, discovering coming on the scene when I was a fan, his work as a newbie and, and how he progressed and leveled up and, is just a fucking legend.
Well, it's also like that was the conversation between Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld. We got to be Arthur Adams, except not as good. That's what he said. He said we got to be Arthur Adams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard that he's very cynical about comics. That he doesn't even like comic books. Todd McFarlane, that is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That he got into it when he was in college, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he hasn't drawn a comic book in like 2 decades.
Yeah. He's not interested. He's not interested in comics at all. Yeah, and that's why he got into making.
He's not having to work 16 hours a day, and he's still, a millionaire. So
I'm not a Todd McFarlane fan, though. Like I'm not.
Me neither.
I'm just not a huge fan of his work.
No, me neither.
He was kind of a flash in the pan type of artist. Like he was good at the time, and then his work to me isn't memorable.
I like Capullo like a lot.
Capullo's legitimately a better artist.
Yeah, and also Dale Keown. I always thought Dale Keown was like the pinnacle of comic artists.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
Dale Keown.
He's like fucking. For me, Keown's kind of like Bernie on steroids in some of his regards. Like the next.
Yeah, I can see that, especially some of his older work when he did what was it? It was Warlocks, and then Dragon Ring and stuff like that.
Oh
Like,
wow, talking about going way back, Dragon.
yeah,
Ring.
like his black and white
Yes.
work was sick.
Oh,
dude.
I
that's
have
what I
some
mean.
of those
That shit's
comics
fucking
still.
dope.
I loved
Yeah.
Dragon Ring back in the day.
Me too. Yeah, yeah. It was some bad shit. And Warlocks, when he did Warlocks,
Mm.
dude,
I didn't see that.
dude, that was a complete
Oh,
horror
Yeah.
thing.
There's so much
Yeah,
like,
it was
like,
so many
find
comic books
that
I want,
stuff.
dude, that are like from back in the day, like in the eight. I want Poison Elves. I missed out on the campaign for that. I
Good
want
stuff.
fucking
It was a hoot.
what's that one? Faust. I missed out on the Faust.
Oh,
fucking
Oh
dude.
man,
omnibus.
Tim Vigil. Man,
I
that
missed
guy.
out on that. I wanted that
Oof.
shit. I still want to watch that fucking movie too. What else? Dude,
The
there's so
movie's
many.
bad, but still entertaining.
I want the
Yeah,
Dead
it's
World,
Ryan
the Dead
Yesner, for
World.
fuck's sake.
Yeah.
There's so many fucking things I want, and I it's just like, oh god, there's like 20 different books I want. I think this was the scariest scene in the
That's
movie
good.
right here too, when the lady
I
has
think
her
so,
baby,
too.
has her
No.
baby, and this motherfucker's trying to get in. I was like, damn,
Mm.
that's just scary.
One of
I
one
mean,
of
it's
the- one of
for
the things
what it
that's
is, you know?
one of the things that's great about this movie is that the humanoids are actually pretty fucking scary.
Yeah.
They're designed by Rob Bottin, who's famous for, of
Hell
course,
yeah.
Thing, and
And The
The Howling, and RoboCop, and Total Recall, and a whole bunch of
Man.
movies.
the motherfucker.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, the man at this moment was Rick Baker,
Rick,
but
yeah.
they couldn't afford Rick Baker. So who do you get? You get Rick Baker's understudy. You get
Yeah.
his apprentice.
Should make a movie
And
of that.
another guy was Chris that worked on this was Chris Wallace, who ended up doing the special effects for The Fly.
Mm.
Oh, dude, that
The-
shit's top. Yeah, that one's really fucking gross. Like it's up there, dude. It's up there with the Thing, dude. And as far as like,
Yes.
Yeah.
grossness, like
Cronenberg tapped
how good
on the
it
right
looks,
guy
all
for
that
The
shit.
Fly.
yeah.
By the
Perfect.
way, right here, we're looking at pictures from a Humanoids from the Deep comic book that was
Who
I've
put
seen
this
that.
out?
that was actually published.
I never saw this. Who put this out?
This was Roger Corman Comics. He
That's dope.
decided
Roger
to
Corman
take
comic.
he took the only one of these comics that's worth reading is the Death Race 2000 comic, because it's a sequel to the movie, and
Gotta have that.
it's written by fucking Pat Mills, so it's completely insane.
Oh,
Completely awful,
I'm just-
awful walls.
I'm just glad that he spent no expense on the art. Like, he spared no expense on it. Like, he just went
Well-
full on Arthur Adams on his artwork, and it was
Yeah, I mean, look, he got an amazing team for Death Race 2000. I think probably no. The Death Race 2000 comic's fucking dope, dude. Look that up. I'm trying to remember the name
I'm
of
gonna
the
have
art.
to check it out.
It's the guy who did Martial Law.
Oh no way! That dude.
Oh,
Kevin
Okay.
Steele?
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, that's perfect. That is perfect for the Death Race 2000 world.
And you can get these comics for nothing
no
because
shit.
nobody bought. Yeah. You
I
can
am
find
on the
very,
hunt.
very
I have a
cheap.
new
Most of
Holy
those heavy
Grail.
metal artists, like their comics, don't go for a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Or 2000 AD.
Yeah.
I think
It's
this
crazy.
art here is
Right.
pretty serviceable, but given the material, I'd want something a little bit nastier.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, there's something
It's
about
too
their brains, dude. They have like the big brain on the back of their head, right?
Yeah.
Something
Oh,
about
yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to get a bat and smash it. Like just like when I see what is it?
Yeah,
Mars
they're all
Attack?
pulpy.
Yeah, I just want to get a bat and smash that shit. You know.
It's like,
Take some of
dude,
these
what
fuckers
is
out.
what is your brain doing on the outside of your body?
Smash me.
It's a little
Fucking
bit of a
embrace.
design flaw. Yeah, like
Right.
there's a scene where this young guy is getting
Oh
attacked.
god, I forgot about
So many scenes are funny in this fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
You said
Well-
drive-in movie, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much,
This
right?
is, yeah, this is the epitome of a drive-in movie, and I love how many explosions there are.
Yeah, that's a lot, dude. It's like, okay.
There's a lot of
One
fucking shit blowing up in this.
Like right in the beginning, boom, the kid falls in the water. They're pretty like they're pretty ruthless in here, dude. Like just the whole concept of the movie, you know, it's scary, dude. Like if they were to remake this movie like now, I don't know.
Oh, they couldn't make it now.
They couldn't
No,
make it now,
oh
but
my god,
I
they
mean,
get crucified.
maybe in the 90s or something, or like 2000 or something. I guess,
Maybe the
you know,
brain is calcified on the outside like a brain coral. Maybe it's actually really
It's
hard.
not. It's not because the
Yeah,
because, yeah, I think it's where's the
It's
scene?
been a
I
while
think
since
it's-
I've
I think
seen the
it's-
film.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I'm assuming that if you watch this on Tubi, this was the version that's called Monster.
Yes. Oh wait, no, it's not. But I seen some stuff like where I'm like, yeah, it said monster in on the bottom.
Because
all tiny.
this has extra gore and it's vile.
Yeah, this was definitely, there's a little bit of the Fly 2 right there, or the Fly right there, a little.
Yeah. But yeah, like this kid's getting attacked. Doug McClure's brother is getting attacked, and the Native American homeboy like hits the humanoid with a stick. Just throws a stick at him, and it just kind of his brain just goes crunch.
Dude, I was gonna say, man, they like had so many like drugged up dogs or dead dogs in this movie, man.
I
like,
know.
I don't know how the fuck. I don't know how the fuck they filmed it. I'm like, damn, that's a dead dog, or it's like drugged up, like it's straight up real. It's not a prop.
Back in the day, you could get away with a lot with animals, stuff that would not fly at all now.
When they used to trip horses and all kinds of shit like that.
Oh man.
Dude, it was fucking
in some movies, they go outside of the U.S. bounds and they'd flat out kill critters.
Yeah,
shot.
They did it in a recent movie. Yeah, they showed the pig getting slaughtered. Like the guy went out there, shot the pig, and then started fucking dissecting it.
God damn it!
I wonder if they do that for contingent upon eating it, because I know in Game of Thrones, when Tywin Lannister is gutting the deer, he's gutting an actual deer.
Well, they claimed that pig
hunted.
was set to go to slaughter.
Right.
So they just did it on set. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah. I know I don't want to watch it. I know sure I don't want to fucking watch that shit.
That looks amazing.
That's
yeah.
I've got to get that.
Yeah.
Shit, that looks exactly like martial law.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Very 90s. I like that.
That's killer.
Yeah.
President
Pat
Frankenstein.
Elton, Tony Skinner, Kevin O'Neill.
Little Frank Miller-y too.
Yeah.
O'Neill has that blocky composition that I think Jack Kirby inspired a lot of people with those big blocky compositions.
And martial law was such a great book. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so anti-hero.
Was he like RoboCop sort of on Judge Dredd?
He was like Judge Dredd, but like on crack.
It was the boys before the boys. You know what I'm saying?
That.
Like, it was.
See, man, that's just another fucking title. Good thing we're recording this. There's so many books.
Two of those. I'll send you one.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah, I'll take it.
First appearance of martial law.
That's dope.
They're not worth anything, but they're cool as shit.
But they're
they are. Yeah, they are. Well, fucking awesome. Most of you probably don't know who Doug McClure is, but he is the inspiration for Troy McClure in The Simpsons. He was like an actor. He was kind of like a young leading man, sorta. And this was like towards like the end of his career, and where he just started doing like exploitation movies. Just started doing filth like this.
Gotta pay them bills.
Gotta pay them bills.
I remember that, dude. Yeah.
You might remember me from such films as Here Comes the Coast Guard.
Yeah,
when I looked at him, I thought it was that guy from the fucking Blue Collar Comedy Tour. He always has like a
he looks like
whiskey and a motherfucking cigar. I'm like, is that him?
Yeah, man.
He needs a cigar to get a glass of scotch.
Like, that ain't him, young. That ain't him, fucking, I just
I
that.
saw
Like,
those fish people out there graping them women. I said, hey, get out of the way, because Ron don't take no sloppy second.
Right?
At the gang bang birthday
party. Skippy.
The Blue Collar Comedy cut.
He does look like Ron White.
Yeah, so the monsters are graping women. There's another interesting thing here. Check this out.
James
the
Horner.
Music to this is by James Horner.
I saw that. He's fucking huge. Didn't he do Lord of the Rings? Or
No.
James Newton Howard.
No. That was the guy who does the music for all of David Cronenberg's movies. Howard Shore.
Yeah.
Howard Shore.
But James Horner did like all like the James Cameron movies and shit like that.
That's right. Everyone's got to
And,
start somewhere, right?
absolutely. Okay.
Sometimes
Here's-
directors like you just have that good relationship, like Danny Elfman and Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Like
Once
you
work
get a
with people,
vibe
you know,
going. The guy
you work
knows
with your
what you
boys,
want.
you know. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
You
I'm
got
sorry,
your boys.
I keep loving the Trump slide there. The grab him by the punani.
Oh yeah, it's like, you know, yeah. I'm afraid that when I'm in a relationship
hilarious
with a
that that's one
woman,
of the
this
slides.
just happens, you know, all the time. That's when they be hanging out. That's just where my hand just naturally goes. Yeah. So, and there is a bunch of. This is the best detail. This is the best piece of trivia about this movie because
That's
it's directed by a
makeup
woman.
right there.
Yeah. This was Rob Bottin.
I mean, that's a great.
Yeah.
Yeah, as somebody who's done like out of the kit makeup effects and studied that sort of thing, and just studying anatomy in general as an artist, I was like, man, that is good. Like, you know, just looking at the skeletal and the muscle structures, they're all appropriate.
The ear.
Well, what I love
Yeah.
is that in the Creature from the Black Lagoon, he has these incredibly scary looking claws, but you never see him use them.
Right.
And
right.
this dude just got his face ripped off.
Oh, dude, yeah. Imagine that. Like, so they're coming up all slow at the end of the movie. They're coming up out of the docks, you know, at the
Yeah.
You know, but imagine them coming at you like even slow, dude. Just one little, ooh, man, it's tearing people apart. And in some ways, it's kind of scarier too, that they're moving like that, you know, and coming in slow. That scene was gross, dude.
Well, it's like, you know, you get the same sort of feeling with the zombie movies, like
Yeah.
you know, like you can outwalk them, at least the older ones,
Right.
but at the same time, they're not going to get tired. They just keep coming after you.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're everywhere.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing about them is like everywhere you go, like you just run out of gas and they don't.
Yep,
And like
and
with this,
they don't have morale. They don't have morale issues. They
good.
don't need
Look at
to eat or sleep. You can't scare them. One of the most effective tools in war is fear. You know, can't scare a zombie.
I love the big lanky arms that they put on
Yeah.
these things. Like,
Yeah, me too.
All right, we're slow, but we've got reach. You
then
know?
there's one with extra long arms. Like he was the one that I think he's like the king. I think he's the alpha. He's the one that went to the house with after the mom with the kid. You know.
Yeah.
I think they used an especially good suit for that scene because they knew it was going to be getting a lot of screen time, and also you know, being lit in a certain way.
Now you have when you're doing movie stuff, you have what you call your hero, your background, and you know, like, or your midground, your foreground. And so like you want the hero shot, the hero suit or the hero head for like the best shots. I remember like when they did Aliens for James Cameron, they had a couple of suits that were fully kitted out and detailed. But because they had so many aliens, they didn't have a bunch of 7-foot tall dudes like they did in the first Alien. They had a bunch of 6-foot tall dudes. And they had them in like these spandex bodysuits, and they just had strategic areas with like the latex fittings put on there. But when you had like the really nice, well lit shot, that's when you get your hero suit on set, and that's probably what they were doing there.
Well,
Makes
even
sense.
for like the Godzilla movies, like they didn't do this here, but like in the Godzilla movies, there's like the moments where it's a puppeteer, because that's really what they are. They're puppets, full body puppets. You know, like Big Bird, right? When the puppeteer is in a suit, that's one Godzilla. But then for the close-ups, they have an animatronic,
Yeah.
right? So he can like you know, make different facial expressions.
It's cool.
They do that with everything now. They do it with cars and everything on movie sets. Like they have the shit car, they have the, you know, it's crazy.
And you know, I forgot to mention it. The best thing about this movie, and definitely the most ringing endorsement I could possibly give it, was, like I said, this was directed by a woman. When the first cut arrived in Roger Corman's office and he screened it, he said, "We need to do reshoots. There needs to be more nudity and there needs to be more gore." And so they went and they shot added nudity and added gore and spliced them into this movie.
And that's really, it's so surprising that like you said, a woman would do this type of film considering the subject matter. But like, She just dove in with both feet.
Yeah,
Well,
and
think
I
of
mean,
this.
for a woman, it's pretty scary, dude, and horrific. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, imagine that. You know, who's
Well,
gonna
women
save
are-
you? You know,
You know, I mean, look.
How
Women,
dare you? Women don't need you to be safe, you know.
they don't. I don't need to be saved.
Well, women are bigger horror fans than men are, really. At least
Yeah.
statistically.
That makes
There are a
Statistically,
lot of them.
Really?
yeah.
My wife's a huge horror fan. So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
my
Me
wife.
too.
She's like,
Absolutely.
my wife was like, "Are you watching that scary stuff?" Yeah, I was like, "Go in the other room."
Yeah, no, they did a study, and science fiction is predominantly male. But it's, mind you, these are minor differences. It's
See, I
like
would have thought
55%.
I would have thought fantasy would have been like the woman's genre. My wife loves fantasy stuff.
Well, of
I
course,
don't
there's
know. When I was doing
lots of
shows,
different
like
fantasy.
I think I had more women coming by, horror than I had men. Like it was
Crazy, huh?
crazy.
That's interesting.
That's because you're a hottie, bro. Come on.
Beefcake number 2. That's it.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Shit, I had this.
I
I,
mean,
had
'cause,
this.
like,
This older nurse, like she would come, and anytime I had a horror, like I did a horror version of a fairy tale, she bought that shit immediately.
Nice.
that's pretty dope,
nice.
though, man. Because like they kind of go hand in hand, you know. Especially
that
the
makes me
grim ones.
wonder if like most of the Xenoscope comics are being purchased by women. Then
Well, keep in mind also, like another demographic that really loves horror is gay people. Like it's very popular
Fuck
with
you,
gay
Brian. Fuck you.
what are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say? I mean, look, you go to a horror convention, you
Pennywise
see
is adorable, and I can't choose between Pennywise and the Babadook.
Well, here's the thing: you go to a horror convention, and you can easily suss out like the men from the women. Well, for the most part, but you
How
can't
dare you assume their gender?
assume like whether they're you don't have like a perfect gaydar, right? I mean, you live in a place like New York City like I do, you get pretty good gaydar, but it's not like that precise where you can like scan a whole crowd. Oh my god, let me run the trailer for this really quick.
Yeah,
and of course I'm gonna have to stop it
bring back
periodically.
the memories.
Bring back the memories. Yeah.
Memories?
Yeah. Well, like Roger Corman, he said there wasn't enough nudity. They had to go back and add some.
Oh, the dude was king of exploitation, man. He knew his audience.
I mean, the man's a legend, and he's like, I think he's like in his 90s now, and still
alive?
like, yeah, and he's real, and he doesn't have dementia at all. Like
That's
he's
awesome.
like he's sharp.
He's too busy thinking of the next schlocky film he's going to produce.
Yeah.
Absolutely. God
Keeps
bless
that mind
his heart.
active.
He ain't
How
got
can
nothing to
I
hide.
put
That's
more
why.
more boobs and blood in this next thing?
He just does whatever the fuck he wants, probably. You know.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, and by the
If I was in my
way,
90s, if I was in my 90s, I'd do whatever the fuck I wanted to.
well, yeah.
You know what they say? They say some people, I don't know, man. Like sometimes when they leave like 2 lives and shit, sometimes those people get like problems like when they get older like that, you know. And he seems like the type of guy, dude, that fucking didn't give a fuck, didn't have nothing to hide growing up, you know.
For sure.
They're coming. Humanoids from the deep.
Yeah, this fool does this little routine where he pretends to disappear and then he pops up going, "Arr!" So he was fucking asking for it.
That's what you get.
That's what you
A
get.
tidal wave of rampaging creatures surges from the dark and violent sea to conquer the earth.
That announcer. Jesus Christ. That announcer's badass.
Yeah, he is. Give him
Yeah,
another
he is.
stogie.
Coming
In
from
a
the
world.
dark and violence.
Wow, they
Okay.
showed tits in the trailer?
No, if you didn't notice,
Oh, it's for the Shout Factory, though.
yeah, well, no, but also you can't, if you look carefully, because I was doing like
She got
screenshots of
pasties on or
this.
something?
No, they're just shots where you can't see everything, where you can't see any of the naughty bits.
I don't know, I just saw her tits. So.
Yeah, but you didn't see her nipples.
that
I've seen it.
creatures are driven
It's just
to
up.
mate with man now.
Okay. Yeah, fuck you,
It was
YouTube.
I mean, it moves fast, but it's full frontal still.
I'm gonna have to complain about this show, Ryan. I
Oh,
can't
shit.
have it.
Oh, look, there's nipple right there.
Soon the
Oh,
world
there you go.
Things come from. But we have no idea how
Yeah,
many
that
there
was
are.
two of them.
You're gonna give Pops a fucking heart attack.
I don't care. This is why
the
we're going to
Earth marches
Roku.
into a battle for the survival of the fittest.
Hey, Chris.
Man is the endangered species, and woman the ultimate prize.
The woman, the ultimate prize.
The only way we can defeat this enemy is by moving inland.
I don't know if you noticed it, but there's a scene where like you see these people on the carousel, and then you see one of the monsters on the carousel, and then it comes around again, and like the people are dead.
Guy.
Well, the guy
The
is
woman.
dead, and the woman's missing.
The woman, the
That's-
ultimate
that's-
prize.
that's a really nice piece of
Those
direction.
penises.
Yeah, baby. And of course, you know, if you're going to destroy something, might as well blow it up. And you'll notice when shit blows up in this, it's shot with like 2 or 3 different cameras.
Yeah,
you know,
gotta get
because we're gonna
coverage
blow
if you're
something
gonna
up.
blow something up.
Yeah, baby. I blew up real good.
Yeah, you only get one shot to blow something up, so you better have your coverage.
Anywhere you run,
For sure.
any place you hide, anytime you stop. Doug McClure and to Kel. Doug McClure and to Kel. Vic Morrow.
Vic Morrow,
Humanoids from the deep.
another
Yeah, Vic-
classic actor from that day.
Yeah, who at this point in his career was always cast as like racist assholes for some
Yes.
reason.
Typecasting.
He's a racist asshole in this, and he's like a racist asshole in Twilight Zone, the Twilight Zone movie, which of course
I just seen
lost his
boobs.
life.
Sadly ended
boobs
his
and
life
more
and his
boobs.
career.
We love boobs. Everybody loves boobs. Yeah, but YouTube don't. But hopefully, we're going to be able to fucking get out from underneath their thumb at some
YouTube,
point.
that's very misogynistic of you not to love boobs.
I know.
I agree.
know, right?
I
Can we make
agree.
a sequel to this, Brian?
No, it would have been cool. You know, I think it's a really fun movie. But you know, Roger Corman, he was, I think, mostly making. Well, he did a couple of ripoffs of Jaws. He did Alligator and Piranha, both of which are awesome, by the way.
Yes, agreed.
Both of which
Dude.
are awesome.
Speaking of rip-off movies, did y'all see an advertisement for a movie called Ape versus Mecha Ape?
No.
Is that by the
Dude,
asylum?
that thing looks fucking sick, son.
I was thinking that sounds like an asylum
Yeah,
movie.
that so sounds
It
like an
is,
asylum.
but it's got Roseanne Barr's ex-husband in it.
Oh, Tom Arnold?
Tom
Yeah,
Arnold?
Tom Arnold. And
He's
I gotta
hilarious,
tell you,
dude.
dude, like I really don't care about the acting or anything like that, but
Yeah.
the ape, the mecha ape, looks like something from like the Toho Kong.
See,
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
can,
that's
I can
awesome.
deal with that because one of my least favorite things about the asylum, I'm willing to go along for like the bad movie fun ride. But as
Yeah.
soon as I see like shitty PlayStation Generation 1 graphics, I am out of there. Like, you know, put
Likewise.
some effort into it.
And also, don't purposely make a bad movie. Those are just awful,
Yeah.
right? Usually, when they're trying to make a cult movie, they fail horribly. They fall flat on their fucking face, right?
Yeah.
With shit like Sharknado and Machete and shit like that. Now, there are a couple. It's really hard to do. I think the only contemporary movie, certainly I could think of, that tried to be a cult movie and succeeded was Kick-Ass.
I would say I recently watched a film that was intentionally bad, intentionally in the vein of like some bad 70s and 80s films. It was called Don't Fuck in the Woods, and I thought it was perfectly appropriate for what they were doing. It's
we
it's
talked
not a
about
good
that
film, but like the characters in there are like really entertaining, and so you just kind of go along with it. And they've got a sequel that looks like they got a little bit more of a budget. So there's Don't Fuck in the Woods, and there's Don't Fuck in the Woods 2.
right.
Yes.
Share
yes,
my
sir.
screen. Share my screen.
Okay, hold on. Oh man.
That's it right there. And
Oh wow,
the way
that
they-
What?
actually looks pretty darn good.
and the way the way they introduced the Mecha Ape, it's the same
dope.
way they introduced Mecha Godzilla in the old movie, where it looks like Godzilla. Then the army starts shooting at it, and then metal starts showing underneath the skin, right?
Oh, like a terror of like a terror of Mechagodzilla.
Yeah,
dude, it's sick, dude. I was like, I gotta find this movie, and I can't find it.
Okay, you might have actually sold me on an.
It's probably on Tubi.
I just want to see the battle scenes. I don't even. It's on Tubi. Oh,
no, I'm saying it's probably on Tubi. It wouldn't surprise me because
that was it. But yeah, like it just looks fucking sick.
Yeah, no, it's dude.
Even the previews, like the trailer looks sick, and that's weird for an asylum.
I've got a Roku.
flick.
I bet I can find it.
Oh man, dude. I mean, seriously, it's a giant gorilla versus a giant robot gorilla. You don't think that's going to give me an instant
This
hard
is right
on?
up your alley, dude.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I'm
Yeah,
harder than the metal on that mecha.
Yeah. Yeah, I love. Oh man, I love King Kong Escapes. That's such a great movie. It's pure fucking pulp shit, man. Pure fucking pulp shit.
Like the old hypno light on top of its head.
Oh yeah, wee. Yeah, and then Kong gets gets hypnotized. He gets that dopey look on his face. Oh, I love dopey Kong.
The mad scientist. The mad scientist in that Japanese Kong movie. Did you notice like his jaw was rotted away?
Doctor Who.
Oh, I have to
His teeth were all fucked up. I know that.
I know his maybe it was like radiation damage or something. Because I mean, it was like right after World War II, right, or something like that.
Well, it could have been from smoking too. It could have been from smoking. Yeah. Keep in mind, like I think this happened to Freud. He just smoked cigars. He didn't get lung cancer, but he got like fucking like jaw cancer, and fucking I've seen people like that in real life. I've seen people in real life like that had their jaws removed. That's another reason why. Folks,
that's pretty brutal.
I've seen pictures of that, and it's nasty.
Yeah. So like I mean, I quit a fucking 25-year smoking habit. What I think 10 years, no more than 10 years ago.
That was the best decision I ever made, dude.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Now, if somebody lights up a cigarette near me, I can't stand the secondhand
I don't
smoke.
like it either. But every now and then, I will say this: I still get cravings every now and then. Yeah.
I really don't, but that's because I always have my vape pen, right? And because I remember thinking, like, oh my god, I'm a writer. How am I going to write if I'm not smoking? If I quit smoking, that's going to put an end to my writing.
Well, at least you're not drinking.
And it did. Oh yeah, well, like in the Raymond Chandler days, for sure. Like they were all.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. Oh, for sure. Yeah, no. Writing under the influence is not. I have not found it to be helpful.
Yeah, nah.
You
can become a crush too,
You talk about Doctor Who reminds me of a movie that scared me that shouldn't have scared me as a kid, but it did scare me. Talking about like messed up faces was Dr. Sardonicus.
Mr. Sardonicus.
Mr. Sardonicus. Like that.
Yes, that's
crazy. like that crazy rictus grin he had.
That jaw.
Yeah. It's amazing. That's an amazing movie. Yeah, I have it on DVD. I have it on DVD, and it is also on Tubi. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe. And we should maybe do that next week because we haven't done any William Castle. Mr. Sardonicus. It's based on a short story called Sardonicus by Ray Russell.
I will have to look that up because I love reading.
Yeah. The original story of that's freaking fantastic. But yeah, I just love this completely fucking tasteless ending too.
Yeah, no, that was pretty cool.
Did this come out?
Look at her eyes change.
Yeah, she turned too.
Yeah.
She's infected.
She has to. I really like that detail because like I love the healed up scars on her face where she got clawed.
Yeah.
But I feel like the changing eyes, it'd be kind of interesting if like they'd had like enough time or a desire to do like a little bit of that story, as the doctor's going like something in her blood chemistry keeps changing, and it's changing because it has to adapt to produce this offspring.
Yeah, right. She's like the main mother or something.
Right. Yeah. So what it is in here, it comes off as a very sort of Italian touch, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely a little like Fulci or Argento or something.
Yeah. Because they don't care whether something makes sense or not. They'll just fucking do it.
No,
it's all about the reaction, you know, and the feel.
Yep.
And, yeah, and like it's about like creating the mood. Like when you look at Suspiria, it's like every frame is like a painting. You know, the framing and the color, and
it's an attack on the senses too, right? Is that
wow. Yeah. The only way to watch Suspiria is the recent 2K Blu-ray. Turn off all the lights and turn your stereo, your surround sound. Now this one doesn't have Asia Argento in it, so but oh god, Christ, she was hot. Yeah, and then just turn up the fucking subwoofer and just let that movie pummel you, because that's a movie that's designed to pummel you. You know, both visually and audibly. Of course, you know, you've got that dope ass fucking Goblin score. Did we did Suspiria on here? I think.
Oh yeah.
That music, especially like when the film opens, is legitimately scary. Where they got
yes,
and you're like witch. Like whoa, that's some freaky stuff.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta bounce. I got Shane coming on. Shane Mess is talking about Swarm on Open the Gates. So, but
excellent.
Had a blast, man. Can't wait till next week, and I give this fucking movie 2 horns way up. I enjoyed the
So you enjoyed it.
Send me a link to your show, Matt.
Oh, for Sheezel, man.
I'll drop in. We'll talk to Shane and mess with him about Swarm.
Oh yeah, for Sheezel.
Yeah, I'll drop in if I get a chance. I'm gonna fucking get my grub on. You know, and I apologize for not being in the chat or coming on, because it's just I just feel, you know, I just like I'm one of those. I'm an.
You feel like you're too big for that. Like you're just too.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Have my people talk to your people.
I'm a big star. But yeah, Matt, much love to you, brother.
You too,
everybody, go check that out. And you know, Matt is fucking really getting good at this. I
don't know about that. I'm just having a beer and chilling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, keep doing what you're doing, dude, because your interviews really are great.
Nice.
Well, thank you, sir.
You got it, brother.
I can't wait till next week, man. I'm pumped up. I'm in full Halloween mode right now. I've already got my kids their costumes and everything. They're all Halloweened up too, man.
Good
awesome.
man.
Dude, let's do this.
Good man.
Oh,
see you guys later.
You, sir.
It was fun.
Right.
It was nice meeting you too, dude. I'll see you next week.
Right.
Pleasure.
Peace, Matt.
Laters.
Later.
God damn it, I hate that guy.
Now that he can't hear a thing we're saying.
Yeah, now let's shit about it. I just met this guy. Let me tell you everything that's wrong about him.
Yeah, that's the shit. Yeah, Matt and I are working on a project together.
See you, Matt. Fucking asshole.
Yeah, man. We're working on something called the Puritanian, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Not ready to announce that one yet, but
just did.
That gives me like
I did vibes. Well, Solomon. Here's the thing. Solomon Kane is easily my favorite character in any genre.
Nice.
Hold on, B. If you're gonna do it, let me do it right.
I like Solomon Kane. I like the movie too.
If you're gonna do it, let me do it right.
What? Matt Burke and I are working on a project together, which is called The Puritanian, and it is a take on Solomon Kane, but it kind of turns Solomon Kane on his head in a way, because Solomon Kane, like I said, is my favorite character in any medium, and I don't want to just do an imitation of Solomon Kane. I want to go in a say something new. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is it your own Solomon Kane, or is it like the Solomon Kane that's in the PD?
That's what do you mean? The Solomon Kane
Public
that's
domain.
No, I mean
certain books of Conan are in the public domain, so you can use them.
Yeah. But this is not a Solomon Kane book. It's just Solomon Kane as an archetype.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if it was like your own version, or if it's like, oh, you're legit doing some new Solomon Kane stuff. No. This is going to be our own IP, because, oh God, I'd be intimidated
as fuck to write a Solomon Kane story. Solomon Kane is one of those characters. I don't know what it is. Like a bunch of writers can. I'm not saying anybody, but like an army of writers can write Conan.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, when people write Solomon Kane, they never get it right. They never get it right. I think that was a character that was too much a part of Howard for other people to kind of really click with. And as much as I enjoyed the film, you know, it's not Robert E. Howard.
I'm inclined to agree with that
at all. But it's still awesome. It's still awesome. It's yeah. And James Purefoy is a fucking awesome Solomon Kane. And I'm really sorry that didn't get a release in the United States. You know, I mean, shit. Because they were planning on making at least like 2 or 3 of those, and I would have watched the fuck out of them for sure.
Dude, I feel the same way about John Carter of Mars. Disney mishandled that, and that should have been an amazing franchise. They should have just called it Warlord of Mars.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
That movie is amazing.
It's not the is it the John Carter Warlord of Mars movie that I always wanted? No, not exactly. Deja Thoris, for instance, is a little overdressed in my opinion.
I don't even want to get into how Hollywood takes their own takes on personal works. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's adaptation. It's the art of adaptation.
Well, it's not even that. It's you put people on a project that isn't even a fan of the work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
This guy was.
Because
this guy was.
It's not like translating a thing from one medium to another. And I understand, like, you're not going to make Deja Thoris naked, like, because Edgar Rice Burroughs, for whatever reason, loved naked people in his stories. Like all of Tarzan, you know, John Carter does everything he's got naked. Right. But at the same time, I thought the story was great. It was well acted. On top of that, so much of the artwork was clearly inspired by people who loved the Barsoom stories. Like, I was like, look at this, looks like some Bernie Wrightson artwork I've seen. You know, this looks like some Frazetta artwork I've seen. Like, I keep spotting all these different artists I admire in the production value of that film. I was like, oh man, I really wanted a series out of that.
I did too. And Barsoom is, I think, probably on my list, number 4 on my list of like the greatest fictional lands,
fictional world
universes. Yeah.
Is John Carter of Mars? Is that public domain?
Some of it.
Yes. A Princess of Mars is.
Mm-hmm.
But not the story. Like
no, the novel.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything that happened in that novel, that particular novel, you could use if you wanted to.
So if you wanted to make a book called John Carter of Mars, you could do that. Right?
Like Marvel recently had the licensing for Conan, but there's books in the Conan catalog or short stories that are in the public domain. So some other comic book company put out a comic called The Sumerian, and it's all Conan.
Which is awesome.
I know that. Yeah.
It's French.
It's a European company.
Because Marvel had the license for the name Conan, so you couldn't put it on the cover, but you can say it between the pages all you bloody want.
Yep. Yeah. And fuck Marvel, and fuck who was the writer on that again? It was, and a guy I really liked too, Jason Aaron. He was apologizing at the drop of a fucking dime. And
with Conan, isn't that like you can't do a story like the Sumerian with Conan in a book in the U.S., right? That's only international. Is that right?
No, it wasn't. Sumerian was published here in America.
They just did Conan.
I thought it was in Europe.
I got it.
The Destroyer.
Huh.
Yeah, in Europe.
So I heard it was illegal in the U.S. for a while.
No. Huh. They can, and I do recommend those, by the way. I mean, look, they're French comics.
I mean, there's lots of stuff you could actually use. Like, you could use Fawcett's Captain Marvel, because DC doesn't own certain stories of that. But DC would come after you. You would have to make some changes. Like, you couldn't put Captain Marvel or Shazam on the cover. You'd have to call it.
You'd be tied up in court forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the money to tie your ass.
Well, that's what Disney does. That's what Disney does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sickened me when they bought Marvel, and one of the first things that they did was they went after Gary Friedrich for money that he made at conventions signing Ghost Rider shit. Like, you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. No, well, I mean, they didn't. Because the
I had
comic
a friend
book...
that was defending Marvel on that end. And they were like, well, they warned him. I was like, warned him about what? About using his own property? I was like, dude, come on.
It was bullshit. It was total fucking bullshit. And thank goodness, suddenly it was like, you know, the comic book creators got together and were like, and Disney finally fucking backed off. But
well, thank God not everybody is John Byrne.
Yeah. John Byrne, like I said, huge fan.
Love that guy's work.
Oh my God, that X-Men run, classic. But yeah, he's one of those people. If I saw him at a convention, I would just let him walk. I would let him walk by, or I would walk by him. Do you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't start a conversation with the guy.
I would. I'd be like, hey, John Byrne, biggest piece of shit in comics. How you doing?
Oh my God.
Big fan.
Yeah. I'm gonna give that title to Mark Wade.
Oh my God.
Second biggest piece of shit in comics.
The stories that I have heard.
Some of the stuff he did at CrossGen was just vile.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
well,
I've heard.
It's just the way that they treat fans. Mm-hmm. It's like Kurt Busiek is another one of those guys. I'm a huge Kurt Busiek
he's such a damn good writer, but
I know. I mean, he was just like a dick to me on Twitter for no reason. Mm-hmm. But I was like, okay, whatever. You know, people have off days and shit. And then I started hearing the stories about him, about people that met him at conventions and how he treats fans.
See, it's interesting because like Dan Slott has a horrendous online history with people. But I met him at a con. He was really nice to talk to. So he's one of these guys who will talk to you nicely face to face. But if there's some degree of separation, gird your loins.
Yeah, the internet
right now.
Rough. You wear a cup, you know? Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily like some people. Here's the thing. The rule that I follow is I try to say things, to not say anything about somebody that I wouldn't say to their face.
Absolutely. But also reserve judgment until you meet them. Because there are certain people, like everybody was like, don't go up to Arthur Sudam, you know, because he's a big asshole. I met Arthur at the end of a show, probably a bad show, and he was the nicest person I've ever met before in my life.
There you go. There you go.
Good to hear.
Even what's his name? Neil Adams. Everybody was like, Neil Adams, big prick. I met him. Greatest guy in the world.
Neil too. I had the pleasure of meeting Neil before he died. I met him in 2018 at GalaxyCon. Hello, Timothy.
Now, if you set yourself up and you're like, hey, look at my portfolio, well, that's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be brutally honest with you on that. But, like, everybody who was getting something signed by Neil Adams, he had a little story to tell about that particular comic or that piece of art. And, like, it was just the coolest thing because he didn't just, like, sign yourself like, all right, next. He spent a minute with you. He engaged. He was really
Same
nice
thing with Jim Shooter. You know, Jim Shooter will keep you there forever. Just telling stories about Marvel.
I'd love to talk to Jim Shooter sometime.
Oh yeah.
Man, I hated that guy's guts when I was in high school.
The
Jack Kirby thing, man. The Jack Kirby thing.
That guy.
Yeah. Yep.
That guy.
Yep. Yeah. He actually lives not far from where I am right now. He lives in Nyack.
He was cool as hell.
Man, look at that.
I've heard.
He was cool as hell. That's all I'm gonna say. I heard about future stuff, future plans they had that weren't public knowledge yet. All kinds of stuff.
I'm sitting there with a press
badge, and he's telling me stuff about that I can't talk about. And it's like I had people there vouching for me. They're like, "Oh, don't worry, he won't say nothing." And of course, I don't. You know, everybody knows I keep their secrets. You know. I probably have the largest file of art that I'm not allowed to show people online. You know, I mean, everybody's like, check this out, Pops, but you can't show nobody yet. I get them all the time.
That's cool.
Man, I hate the way Marvel crushed him when he was putting out Warriors of Plasm and Defiant. I love the Defiant Comics label.
Oh, Jim was a
And they
genius,
just
dude.
crushed him.
I'm just gonna
That was the collapse of the comic book industry when Jim Shooter put out Plasm,
Mm.
and he made it was the most innovative thing I've ever seen before in my life.
Yeah.
The way he made it work, he made the whole first edition of Warriors of Plasm a trading card set.
Yes,
And
I
it
got
fucking
that set.
sold like
That's
crazy,
clever.
dude. It was nuts.
That's clever as fuck.
Because comics were going out, dude. That was the collapse of the comic industry at that point.
What
you
was
know?
this? Like
And
around
Jim out of
2000?
nowhere starts a brand new company.
What was this?
Yeah,
Like
and
around like
twice,
late
Dale, because
90s?
remember
Yeah.
for that he was on Valiant before Valiant kicked him off, which was the death of Valiant.
Exactly, because
You know, all
he
their
knew.
stuff started going downhill.
He kept telling us, like, dude, if you guys do what you want to do, this whole thing's going to collapse. It's
Mhm.
like, you know, Valiant's going to go the way of like any other indie publisher. And they were like, no, Jim, we want to make money. We want to make money. So
You know,
finally, they
everywhere
made
he
100,000
goes-
issues or something.
Everywhere he goes, he makes comics better. And I know there's
Yeah.
things that like people don't like about his managerial style. They don't like some of his takes, you know, on
chased
certain
away
things. I get that.
So much
but
talent from Marvel. That's when there was that big exodus.
Yeah,
of
but
artists
Marvel
from
was
like Marvel to DC.
But Marvel was good. You know, he had books on time. He made stories make sense. He made sure people completed arcs and
I understand.
actually did the work.
I understand. You know, it's
John
just
Byrne
the
hated him, man. When Jim got fired, he burned an effigy. Jim at
Jesus
his house during a barbecue.
Mark Waid threw a a stapler, like one of the, not like a little tiny plastic stapler, one of those really heavy old school ones that that they had in school, right? Threw a stapler at Joe Sacco's head because Joe Sacco evidently, the artist Joe Sacco, evidently was sharing an office with Wade and I think maybe like another guy, and he like literally just like bent over to like pick something up, and it went flying like right over his head, like barely missed him and lodged in the wall.
I would have, if that had been me working in that office as an artist,
beat the shit out of Mark Waid.
Yeah, I'd have fucked him up.
I can tell you right now, though, like whatever you think about Jim Shooter, he is the one that brought Barry Windsor Smith back into comics because Barry was blackballed like a motherfucker at that point.
Really? For what?
Yeah, because he was hard to work with. He pissed
Oh,
off. He burned
he was
every
on.
avenue he could. He burned DC. He burned Marvel. Nobody wanted to work with that motherfucker.
Interesting.
I never heard that before.
Folks, if you want to like make comics, be fun to work with. That's a rule of mine. Be fun to work with. It's like when I found out that Preston was doing stuff for Adam Lawson, I was like, oh, cool, you're gonna have fun.
You
You're
know,
gonna
that
have fun
just
with that too.
that works all around. God, I can't remember his name right now. You guys ever see the Boondock Saints?
Yes.
So it's not Norman Reedus, but it's the other guy who plays the brother. Patrick.
Yeah, the guy that's in Nefarious.
Yeah, exactly. The guy's in Nefarious. I watched him in an interview, and really,
I knew
when
I've
you're
seen that motherfucker somewhere else. I was wondering
when you're working like that, he said, like, you know, working in this industry is really easy. All you gotta do is be easy to work with. You know, be on time, be professional, don't be a dick, and you'll keep getting hired. And I believe that goes everywhere.
Yes.
Just be
For
chill.
sure. Yes. And especially if you're making fucking comics, because how fucking cool is it that we're making comics?
Exactly.
You know, if you're not having fun and acting like a little kid, you're being unprofessional, in my opinion.
That's why I do not get all the people who are in comics who, by their own words, clearly hate comics.
and really hate the
I never
fans.
got that. I thought that was weird.
It's totally weird, but that's because basically the industry, the medium that we love and cherish was invaded by a bunch of cultural vandals, basically. And
not like a trash movie like this, where these people, I bet they were having a fun time on set.
Most fucking definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, I mean, look, a movie like Humanoids from the Deep isn't really meant to be taken seriously.
No.
I mean, like the original title for this monster, which is a terrible title, Humanoids from the Deep is 100 times better.
Oh,
but it gave you an indication, like, oh, this is going to be like a Roger Corman style monster movie.
House, pure sleaze, pure fun.
Yes, Yes, absolutely, man, absolutely. I would have loved to have seen an Italian ripoff of this.
Oh,
I'm saying
that
he
would be
knew.
great.
So you're saying he knew he wasn't making Gone with the Wind?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
He didn't have those Ed Wood delusions. As much as I love Ed Wood.
Oh no! He has like a genius level IQ supposedly. Barbara Steele said that he's like that he's so polite that he's like a person from the 18th century. That's how she describes him.
I don't recall who he said this to, but there was a director giving an interview, and maybe it was James Cameron. Probably not. James Cameron wouldn't have. James is not known for like tolerating other people's BS, but he was. This director was talking about like Corman tapped him to do a film, and he flat out told him like, I'm going to screw you on this, right? But he just said like just straight up. I was like, I'm going to screw you on this, right? But if you do this for me, you'll have written your ticket. You'll be able to do what you want to do.
Dude, that's how he started the careers of John Sayles, Joe Dante,
Cameron,
Jonathan Demme.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many people.
Yeah, and I mean, he's like the FBI director in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you only ever see him on a screen, but yeah, it's fucking Roger Corman.
You come in for Roger Corman, and your first picture, you're basically an intern. Like, you don't expect, you're going to overwork yourself. You're not going to get paid well. Nothing good is going to happen. But you're not going to be lied to. But you're going to get to make your movie, and then you'll get to do more. Like, he is the stepping stone. He is the film school that you all need.
Right. Because the
sounds like my first job. No, art industry.
I don't understand why people spend money on film school when they could just spend that money making a fucking movie.
But you don't need to, especially not anymore. I found like I started making films back in 2007.
Yeah,
I was working with a guy who was making his own feature-length films, and they're no budget. Whatever we could scrape together, Salvation Army stuff, people who are willing to act for food, doing my makeup effects out of kit, nothing. I wasn't baking prosthetics or anything like that. I was old school, using old school techniques with latex and other things to go beneath it and all that. And I learned everything I needed to off of YouTube because there's all these people out there who are willing to show you how they did it, because that's the community of creators I want to be surrounded with, like the people who are willing to share, and we all get better for it.
Yes. Oh, dude, you are speaking my language, sir, for sure. And that's one of the things I love about this indie comics community is that there are so many people that are like that. And and just watching people leveling up and getting better, and just, I'm just fucking.
I am
grateful.
Constantly like liking and tweeting and sharing.
Yes.
Everybody's project that like comes across my feed. I'll check them out and see if they're relatively sane. I don't want to support some of the nut jobs that have gotten into comics, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
But like,
aren't they working in professional? Aren't they working for like Marvel and DC and shit? Are they in our space now?
I mean, they've
kind
of had to encroach because it's not working out, is it?
They're
working for Roger Corman.
It hurt my heart when Jim Starlin put out a Trump anti-Trump. I was like,
oh my God.
Oh man, Mike Mignola did one too. It was like,
oh no.
Can't we keep this shit out of comics? Is that even?
I know.
I just I'm going to give a little plug here. I just did an interview 2 days ago with the writer and director, two different people, by the way, of this movie called 8 Found Dead. It's an independent film that was shot in the midst of COVID. They shot this horror movie out in the desert. Nice little one location deal. And it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. It is the best independent film I've seen produced in recent years. It's a great horror thriller. It's utterly fantastic. And these guys are like so cool. I did this for Cinema Crusaders via the Comic Crusaders.
Can you give us that title again?
It's called 8 Found Dead.
Okay, because I'm seeing if that's on.
It's they got it distributed through Dark Sky Films. I think it's coming out September 8th. But of course, I got to.
So it's not out yet. Okay.
Yeah, I got to watch a screener, and I got to. Dark Sky is already promoting it on Twitter, of course, so you can find it there via their page.
Well, horror is huge right now, man. Horror is huge.
But it's great, and so like you don't need all the trappings, and you can do things. And I love talking. I got away from reviewing like the bigger projects, the bigger creators as far as comics and things go. I prefer to talk to all these indie people because like they have all this passion and love and enthusiasm.
Yeah, man.
Those are the people I want to surround myself with instead of. And one of the things I thank them after the show for just making a piece of pure entertainment. Thank you. I could have a little escapism. Because every single thing you say, think, or do has become political. Like, who wants that?
And in a really crude way too. Do you know what I'm saying? It's because they've taken the subtext and they make it the text, right? Because like you can read politics into Night of the Living Dead, but if there's nothing overt there, right? You can just interpret it in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, like I'd love to talk to the people who worked on this film and ask them, if there is a subtext down there, were you just really trying to make a sleazy film, or like, are you trying to say something? That's a fascinating conversation to have.
It is.
It's the difference of being like part of the story and then being the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yes, they put the cart before the horse. It's just stupid. So, anyway, we're coming up on 2 hours. I'm going to have to get some rest and stuff some food in my yam for sure. Everybody, Jeff, thank you so much for hanging out, man. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
It's Bracy452 on Twitter, and I have a DeviantArt account if you want to see all my artwork there, and that's Bracy100 at DeviantArt. I'm also part of the Comic Crusaders, which means I do reviews there, and I also do podcasts through their various podcasts like Sloppy Spoilers and Cinema Crusaders. And, of course, I've mentioned I do interviews as well via Comic Crusaders.
Oh, man. Dude, I am looking forward to getting to know you better, sir. And,
Same here. This was a real pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
You got it, man. And you sexy boy. Where can people find you?
It's Little Breezy on Twitter. And you know where to find me. Twitter. Nikita Pipe on Twitter.
The twatter.
Okay. Oh, X. Yeah. It's X.
Yeah, whatever. Everybody still calls it Twitter. Whatever.
Yeah. True enough.
And Pops, tell these fools what's up.
Madness Comic Network. You guys know what we're doing. We're building the Roku channel. Hopefully, we have a crowdfunding campaign right now to try and get the funding so we can all take all our shows to Roku. And the one thing Jeff didn't tell you is tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
Oh, that's right.
He'll be right here on the Madness Comic Network for Madness Gaming with Max Devill when we do our D&D live stream.
Yeah.
So, shit. I guess I should mention that as well. I also have a Sunday evening, depending on where you live, live stream. I play another D&D game that is a live play with the Fellowship of the D20 with several of my Comic Crusaders.
Yeah, they're also on the Madness Network. So.
Yeah. Pops we love Pops. Pops chimes in while we're playing often, so it's always good to see him pop in there.
Yeah, man. And and I think Pops sent me your information or whatever, and I will add you to the DM group. And mind you, the policy is people just pop in if they friggin' feel like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody should feel obliged. But like I was saying,
I don't feel obliged. I just never shut up. So any opportunity I get to talk about something cool, I am so there.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, the reason I started this stream was because I was like, okay, I have to get better at YouTubing. I have to get better at streaming. And I was like, okay, well, what can I talk about in my sleep?
Horror movies. Yeah.
Horror movies. I'm still just a big monster kid at heart.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah, man.
I knew this was going to be like you guys would, hit it
Oh,
off
for
just
sure,
because
for
you
sure.
have so much.
I feel a little
It's
bad because I
kismet.
feel like I got us off of talking about the movie and more into talking about comics.
That's so
But we
good.
do that too.
We're always
I mean,
casual here.
sometimes we highlight a guest that has a campaign going.
Yeah.
And we'll also cover their campaign too during the show. So,
Yep.
matter of fact, we got Pete Smitty coming on.
Yeah. You know what kills me is Legend of Boggy Creek is not streaming anywhere.
What?
I can't even find it on the YouTubes. And it's like because he does a book called King Cryptid, and I was like, oh well, what's the definitive cryptid movie? It's fucking Legend of Boggy Creek,
Would
right?
you believe they played that movie at my school out of the blue when I was like 7th grade, maybe?
Nice.
They just like, hey, you guys, we're gonna do a movie. It's like, oh well, this never happened before. They played Legend of Boggy Creek, and it's become one of my all-time favorite Bigfoot movies ever. It's
for
amazing,
sure.
absolutely amazing.
For sure. I mean, part 2 you can get, but it's not the same.
If I can rip, because that's made more like a movie. I love the documentary style they did here, with the terrible reenactment. But if I can rip the DVD, I'll see if I can get you a copy of the film.
Did you try to torrent? Did you try to torrent the movie?
No, I do have a copy of it. It's just the way that this show works is that we always make sure that
we can all watch.
Movie, right. We always try to show something that's not behind a paywall. So
that
folks,
we can all watch it.
Right.
And I forgot to say, folks, if you're watching and Humanoids from the Deep sounds like you're kind of filth, you're kind of trash, there's a link below. Click on that. It will take you to a free version of the movie.
I can't
There's
believe
a whole shitload of links below.
Free on
just
YouTube.
saying.
I know. Isn't that crazy, Jeff?
That is bizarre.
Bizarre. Yeah, so I'm going to have to find something else. Maybe Night of the Demon. Although I don't think that's on there either, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure something out for next week.
Oh, what's the one with the giant demon? Is that Terror
it's
of the
not
Demon?
next week. Look, let me check the sketch. The sketch. I think we got him on. Jeez, when? October 19th. Yeah.
Okay.
October 19th.
All right. Yeah.
So we got plenty of time to try and find it if we can.
Yeah. And me and Preston are gonna ambush his ass.
Who's that?
For sure.
What?
Pete Smitty.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. We're gonna ambush his ass for sure.
Pete's a cool guy.
Make him feel very uncomfortable.
He was on Clayton Barton's show, and Clayton has the most awesome voice. It's just so calm and cool and everything.
Thanks.
And then you put Pete, which is totally laid back, and you get them two talking, and as laid back as they both are, the conversation is so cool that you're in it.
I'm actually kind of grateful for comics getting stupid, because that led me to find Pete Smitty in Alternative Comics, which was terrific, being able to get comics that look like the comics I grew up with, the newsprint.
Newsprint. Yeah, for sure, man.
For the grandkids, man. Wolf and Batsy, there's some that I get for the grandkids.
Oh, Realm of Blood is just amazing. I love that book so much. It's such a quick read, but I can keep going back and looking at the artwork.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see, a Six-Gun Gorilla newsprint edition.
Yeah.
That would be fucking badass, man. I would love that. That would be,
All right, Pete, we gave you another plug, bro.
Yeah, man. But me and Preston, we're waiting for you, brother. We're waiting for your ass. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you.
Awesome for rocking the Kiss Destroyer shirt down there.
Yeah, man.
You wanted the best. You've got the best. The hottest band in the world.
That's right. Talk about marketing geniuses.
Bickles
All guys who couldn't play but could sing.
I have the 76 shirt where they
take over the world.
All revolutionary. That's the one I got.
Yeah, if you can't play, be showman.
Exactly.
Yeah, there it is. Pops, do you want to take us out?
I can do that. Let me see what I can find.
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna play our Roku ad, right? Because why not?
Okay. Okay. All right.
Dude,
Okay.
vamp
Well,
yourself.
let me see if I can
your
pop
thing.
back on camera.
Do your thing, B.
Not robot. Okay. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next week.
Brian
peace,
needs to make his bed.
love for sure. Love and metal.
Check y'all out later.
Bye-bye.
Yo, Pops Van Zant here. The Madness Comic Network is evolving into the Madness Roku Network. We're taking our stuff to Roku. We're joining great channels like the American Horrors channel. We're taking our stuff over there, guys. We love it over there. You're going to love what we bring you. We got some great shows, all kinds of different stuff. Come join the madness, yo. Madness Roku Network right here. Peace.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content.
The Civil War was America's bloodiest conflict. Over 500,000 died to preserve national unity. When the war ended, Confederates like Harley Brogdon headed west, shooting game for the Army and gambling. When a card game turns deadly, Harley shoots in self-defense, killing the card sharp who threw down first. Wilfred Knorr, the card sharp's wealthy father, will stop at nothing to see Harley hang. Harley flees to Koepp's Gap, an old silver mining town at the foot of the Rockies. A remarkably peaceful town, especially after dark. But the sheriff harbors a dark secret, and no one dares go into the mines anymore. Koepp's Gap is full of secrets. People speak in hushed tones of something in the mine. Something worse than their cursed sheriff. Something even the Indians fear from the deepest pits of hell. Every secret will be exposed. Bronze Star. Order your copy at bronzestarcomic.com.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.